42.
Holy crap! It actually worked.
Go.
All right, Moronics. How are we? I had a bye week last week because of the weather. It was really not safe to drive because of the ice conditions, but no Zach today, so I got to steer the bus. We have in the house
I'm Jake.
I'm Mr. Google.
Mr. Google's filling in for Zach. He's at a Christmas party, so
Yeah, we added some class to the show
we
tonight.
added some class to the show.
Hey,
We want
saying I don't have class.
we want to give a quick shout out to the victims of the Madison school shooting in Wisconsin that happened earlier this week, and also rest in peace, Mr. Ricky Henderson. When we talk baseball, we'll kind of go over that a little bit.
Yep.
Anything
base champion,
stolen base champion, athletics, and two-time World Series. So I guess we can talk about it now. So, right now we want to get into the NBA college basketball. The Bucks won the NBA Cup last week.
Boo!
From being the bottom of the league to actually winning the cup, I didn't expect it.
Right now, Giannis is sitting out, rightfully so. He kind of drove them. They won over OKC on Tuesday night.
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma City is actually leading the West. We wanted to bring something up, though. Like, we see all these teams making moves, and we don't see LeBron and the Lakers making moves.
Nope.
So,
nope.
Does that just solidify, validate that they probably should have drafted somebody else besides Bronny James?
Yeah, I believe so. They're trying to. It looks like they're trying to go the way of the Dallas Cowboys, where they want to try and do the same thing over and over again and expect different results. It's basically insanity.
Yeah.
I think that LeBron has been such a force in the NBA for so long, and his contract drives so much money and butts and seats that he kind of controls the franchise right now.
Yeah.
And he can't put together a strong enough run to make it into the playoffs, much less through the playoffs. He never has.
No.
And he's a coach killer. I mean, look how many teams he's been on, and how long he's been on the team, and how many coaches they've been through on said teams.
I mean, I understand that, but you can say that about a lot of players, right? You can call Aaron Rodgers, a coach killer.
Yep.
Right. You can call Zeke Elliott a coach killer.
Terrell Owens.
You can call Terrell Owens a coach killer. There's a lot of guys you can call coach killer. I don't know. I don't know if that metric, what that really means anymore, right? Because I don't think teams live or die by coaches anymore. I think they live and die by players.
Yes. And also, like, this thing with LeBron is everyone's like, oh, he's the greatest. But I'm like, what do you mean? Like,
he's not the greatest.
No.
To me, it's not. Like, you comparing him to MJ. I'm like, you want to compare someone to MJ, do Kobe.
Agreed. I'll go there. Absolutely. But
could you put Curry in that conversation?
Curry,
as well?
no. I can't put either one in that conversation just because, and I got it right. LeBron has won a lot of games and done it for a long time. He's played at a high level for a very long time, won a lot of games. He's got championships, but he doesn't have 6 in 7 years.
No.
He doesn't have only
never been swept.
Right. He's never played only 24 games and 6 championships to win.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So I mean, you cannot. Yeah, he has. He's lost championships. Jordan never lost one.
Right. Jordan never played in a game 7.
No, never.
Like I read that. I'm like, wow, that's really strange to believe.
Yeah. The Bulls back in the day were a force to be reckoned with.
Yes.
And Michael, I think, retired. I mean, what else can you do?
Right.
I mean, Brady held on, but I don't. Sorry. You guys
Good.
talk. I'm kind of trolling this one.
I'm letting you guys talk because Zach and I dominate the show.
Yeah.
So it's good for you guys to have your takes on it.
Yeah. And I'm also a child of the 80s, right? So, to me, I grew up with Mike. I grew up and I've watched the career of both. Right now, I didn't have as much cognizance into basketball when I was watching Mike. Not at the beginning, but I've watched Mike. I've watched LeBron. I think that, Michael Jordan knew how to use the people around him to win, and LeBron does not know how to do that. LeBron can only try and do it himself, and he just doesn't have he's never had the stamina to continue all the way through the season like that, what Mike always did.
Mike always did. He had Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman. We can name that Bulls roster, but I look at what the Cleveland Cavaliers did when they got LeBron. They didn't have anything but LeBron. Go ahead.
Or LeBron tries to build an old ass super team, then fucking finishes dead last in the goddamn fucking conference.
Whoa. I sense a little hostility here.
A lot of hostility there.
I agree, right? So to me, I don't like the the era of the super teams. Back in the day, they drafted, they brought people together, but they didn't try and put together these superstar teams where you just dominate the entire league for 1 or 2 years and then they break up because you can't keep a team like that together financially.
Right.
You know, the Bulls were always able to, put together a team that, and they drafted so well. Their GMs were amazing. And
Scouting and all that sort
the
of
scouting was awesome. They had a phenomenal coach in Phil Jackson, and Phil went on to do a very similar thing with the Lakers
with Kobe and Shaq.
Yep, Kobe and Shaq and the boys, and he didn't even need Shaq all the time to do it. So I mean, he showed how.
Dwayne Wade won a championship before LeBron got there.
But the thing is when you look at what Jordan did with Phil Jackson and like his rivals were Reggie Miller, John Stockton, Karl Malone, the Utah Jazz. For me, growing up, I was mid-90s, was watching, the Houston Rockets win 2 in a row. Like, it was the same 2 teams. Either the Bulls, Rockets, Bulls, and everybody's like, oh, who are you going to root for? I know you don't like this. San Antonio Spurs. David Robinson.
Look,
Tim Duncan.
That was another franchise that just did a phenomenal job of scouting, of recruiting players.
They made a super team.
Oh, yeah,
Sorry.
they did.
They made a super team.
Yep.
And like you could look at like, well, the Spurs were the first super team. Well, there's always been that.
Yeah, but
they didn't buy them.
No,
they
not at all.
them.
Yeah, they developed that team.
Yes.
And they centered. They always. What I loved about it, right? I'm kind of an old school, physical, hard knocks basketball, and they built their team around centers.
Yes.
And I think that is what gave them such longevity.
Yeah.
Well, not, but they found 2 phenomenal centers in a row that gave them, oh my God, what 20 years apiece of solid basketball. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And then they were able to put solid players around them.
I think for me, one of the more humblest things that I've seen out of the San Antonio Spurs was Manu Ginobili going to the bench.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, he did that for the team. And who knows? They won. And it was like in 2004 when he's like, yeah, I'll go to the bench. We have better players on the bench that are better than I can always come off the bench, get you 20 points, 5 assists, 6 rebounds, whatever.
Yes.
You're going to need that guy to start.
The selflessness of those players was unbelievable. It was just incredible.
And like, you're kind of looking at that and you see if you draft somebody else besides Bronny James, you're JJ Redick. I want that guy developed.
Mm-hmm.
I want him to learn, maybe take some stuff from LeBron. He doesn't have to be the face of the franchise, but he has to be able to play with LeBron and do all that stuff. LeBron, to me, he traded Andrew Wiggins after they drafted him when he went back to Cleveland.
Yep.
Andrew Wiggins was like, no, I don't want him.
Yep.
Look what he's doing now with Golden State.
Yep. And, LeBron is about LeBron. LeBron is not about the team. LeBron's
I wasn't trying to bring it back to the Lakers. I'm just saying
it's
that
fine.
Like we could kind of go all over the place with this 80s, 90s. And because to me, best basketball I was watching was 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up with
defense.
Right.
I grew up with LeBron. I mean, I didn't like watching him. I always stayed away and watched like Curry or watched like the Bucks, my favorite team growing up. I mean, the Bucks weren't the greatest back in those days growing up.
No, they were competitive, but they weren't going to take down the likes of LeBron and the Cavaliers or the Heat or anything like that.
But so this year, I think that I really think the Bucks are looking okay. But I right now I'm really impressed with what Oklahoma City's doing.
Oh,
yes,
they really are. Just, I mean,
they have one of the best defenses.
Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely, and that's something that it's hard to. You don't see that very often in the NBA anymore.
You keep a team under 100 points, you're doing something right.
Yeah.
They call me the stats guy because I go over stats, and I was going over the defensive stats. I'm like, I haven't seen these stats in like 20 plus years. Holy fuck! For defense.
It reminds you of what the 2004 Detroit Pistons were doing, and how they were able to play defense and do all that, the shot clock era and everything like that. 2005 as well. And they took down Karl Malone, Gary Payton, Kobe Bryant, and Shaquille O'Neal. And one of the things I did enjoy watching basketball back then was I hated the Lakers, but I love watching Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just because he brought that extra pizzazz to him. Rest his soul. I know that kind of thing. Quickly, we are following the playoff game between the Ohio State Buckeyes and Tennessee Volunteers. Ohio State just got on the board with a touchdown.
Go Texas.
Texas wins. We'll talk college football a little bit later.
I'm rooting for the Vols.
We picked Tennessee. Anything more you want to add? Like, we could go over NBA. I feel like that was a really good conversation. I'd expect that. That was awesome. Like, for me, watching basketball, play defense, score, it's all about 3-point shooting now.
It is.
If you look at
It
the
is.
college basketball, that's what they want. They want
Right.
3-point shooters. They don't want big men down in the paint getting rebounds. They
Yeah.
want threes.
Well,
They
what
want
bothers me
scoring.
about that is they went Moneyball style, right?
Yes.
It's all about analytics. It's all about what
Yep.
the most efficient basketball is. But that's not fun to watch,
No.
in my opinion. There's really not a lot of fun in that. I played basketball growing up. If I hadn't gotten so old, I'd probably still be playing basketball. But or fat, I guess. Yeah.
Right.
But anyway,
you don't see these big body guys like you do.
no.
If you do see big body guys in the NBA, they don't come from college because, like you said, they want 3-point shooters.
Mhm.
They come from the foreign leagues. They come from foreign players.
That's
Yep.
what you see the bigger guys coming from is the foreign leagues over
Yes.
Europe. Giannis is from Greece.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jokic is from Serbia, I think.
Serbia. And all these over these
Because
guys.
overseas players are
Yeah.
the big body, like the olden style NBA back in the day.
Yeah, they play more fundamental basketball, in
Yeah.
my
Oh,
opinion.
The Joker from Denver.
Yeah,
He is like, he might win another MVP.
he might. He's
And-
looking good this year.
He is looking good. SGA is looking good. Luke
Yeah.
is looking good.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
these are some good.
I
have a lot of good expectations for your Dallas Mavericks.
I do too, but they were exposed last night.
I don't know if I talked about this, but one thing kind of rubbed me the wrong way is when James Harden passed, wasn't it Allen?
Ray Allen.
Ray Allen on the 3-point shooter list for all time. And he's like, oh, I'm number one because Curry doesn't count. I'm like, what the do you mean Curry doesn't count?
I love the
Kinda-
F-bombs you got already. We ain't even 10 minutes
I'm
in.
sorry. I was almost like, what do you mean he doesn't count? What drugs are you on?
He's just salty because Curry kicked his ass in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm like,
That's
are you
all that
just
is.
Mad that he swept you how many times when you were on the Rockets and just
Well,
really just kicked you?
to elaborate on that point, Rockets a couple of times were the number one seed in the West. People
Mhm.
forget that, but
Yep.
Curry and Steve Kerr, all them teams, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, we could go all the way down the line of those Warrior teams.
Oh yeah,
They had a better bench to the Houston Rockets.
Yep.
yes.
Yep.
Harden
And
just
they
knows how to
came
shoot a
in
three.
Houston and just went and just
Yeah,
dominated them.
and
And I felt bad for Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook because they're doing everything they can to try to beat the Warriors. You need bench
Yeah,
in the NBA.
you got to have it.
Oh, yeah, you
Um,
can't have your 3 starters play the entire game. It's not gonna win a game.
No,
No.
you're not getting 48
Even
minutes
if
every
you knock
night out
out
of
the
them.
Warriors, you're going to be so exhausted. You're going to get your ass kicked by whoever wins the Eastern Conference.
Yeah. Well, Steve Kerr learned from the best, right? Phil Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, when you start going it that way, they had a better, in my opinion, with Steve Kerr, they had a better coach.
Yes. Yes. And Rick, I'm sorry, Rick was his name. What was his name at the time? I can't remember. Mike D'Antoni, I think, was the
Yeah.
coach. He's all about threes
Yep.
and pick and roll. You don't have players in that system. James Harden just, if he goes, 3 for 15 from beyond the arc, that's 9 points.
Yep.
That shatters your whole team. Shatters your whole team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They scored more 3-pointers in one season than they did 2-pointers.
that's insane.
That is insane. What's Curry doing? Okay, nobody's guarding the paint. I'm going to Draymond,
Yep.
or I'm going to
Everyone
Clay.
forgets that Curry is a 3-point shooter, but he can also score in the paint. I watched his highlights. He's pretty much a really good layup shooter. Like, he can
Curry's
create.
a scorer,
Oh,
Yes.
right? He's not a 3-point shooter. He's damn good at it, but he is a scorer.
He's a
Can
scorer. He
create
can create
anything
plays.
out of nothing.
And I thought was really weird about the analytics for the Houston Rockets. They had a better chance of back then. I mean, not now. I mean, they're doing better now. They went down for a little bit. They had a better chance of making a 3 than they did making a layup.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
insane basketball.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah, when
you don't,
you're-
the 3-point shooting is not doing well.
When your system is pick and roll, and
Yeah, you're
shooting,
toast.
Like,
Yep.
what else
Toast.
you gotta do?
If you can't shoot or they're playing hot defense, you're done, man.
Oh, yeah.
Analytics can only take you so far. It really can. And so, anyway,
So this is a crazy thing. So back in the day, I think is right before Curry got off in his career. This is when Curry was riddled with injuries, with ankle injuries.
Mhm.
There was a trade rumor that there was a trade that I think got vetoed in the NBA that would have sent Curry to Milwaukee.
really,
Yeah,
Yes.
I heard about that. There was also that Chris Paul one that went to the Lakers to play with Kobe because they wanted to prevent
David
a super
Stern
team.
vetoed that one.
yeah.
Um,
Well, NCAA basketball. Let's
Yep.
kind of transition here a little
Yeah,
bit.
we'll
from-
get that. New number 1 team is Tennessee Volunteers.
That's
10-0.
crazy.
SEC is got the most teams in the top 25. I won't go
Yeah.
over all of it, but Auburn's 2. I'll go top 5. Auburn's 2. Iowa State is 3.
Yep.
Kentucky is 4. Duke is 5.
I'm surprised they can still put that franchise together, man, or that team together. Because once Mike Krzyzewski left, I stopped watching Duke because I just like, you know what, it's going to take them way too long to get put back together if they ever get put back together.
Right.
But somehow, in some way, they are still rolling with that new coach. I can't remember his name.
You wonder
within his coaching staff or someone
Yeah.
that played under.
Right.
And you wonder how long that took, that transition to be, you don't want a replica of Coach K because
Right.
obviously
No,
you're going to have to change transfer portal now,
Right.
all that sort of thing.
Is that a thing in basketball as well?
It's in all college sports.
Oh, okay. I thought that was just a football thing.
It's football, but I've heard it a lot more in college basketball now. I've even heard it in hockey, NIL deals.
Really? What?
Yes, I swear. I didn't think that was a thing either. I was like, yeah, I'm going to transfer to the University of Denver to play.
Wouldn't that be an
All it
interesting?
says
And
is Wisconsin can't do crap in basketball and football, but we can kick your butts in hockey.
Right.
Yeah.
So
yeah, well, when you live on ice almost 9 months out of the year, you kind of have a good team.
I would definitely think that with college basketball now, I think it's UConn's 1-2 back to back. They kind of were getting off to a slow start.
Yeah.
They lost a lot of players to the draft. Coach wanted to come back to go for a 3-peat, which he turned down the opportunity to go to the Lakers.
I would have turned that down.
Yeah, I would have turned it down too. Sorry, JJ Redick.
Yeah,
But I would definitely think that you would pick them before everybody else gets, waxed out or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really nice to see a local team like Iowa State, because we're in Iowa, to be in that top 5.
Yeah.
And they are predicted to be a potential number 1 seed in the tournament.
Right.
So we'll see how that kind of pans out. We wanted to go over that. We're going to talk hockey. You already know that I have to bring up the Rangers because he's not here.
Yeah.
And
He would have brought up his boyfriend got traded away.
Kavakako got traded. They also had that trade for their captain. Is that the same guy? Shows you how much I follow the New York Rangers.
Yeah, well.
And then
I mainly follow the Panthers and the Blackhawks. I only follow
you only followed the Florida Panthers and Chicago Black. That's awesome. I like it. No, I like it. You got different teams that you want to root for. Main thing for me is you're seeing these trades by this team right now, and you just gave your goaltender a bunch of money.
Yeah.
So is this right now? We're in that point of the season. Do you got to start getting it together?
Yeah.
It's not do or die because they're still in the playoff fight. I think they're in the top 8.
Right.
But are New York Rangers? You can look it up for me.
16 to 15 1.
16, 15, and 1.
Yeah.
Ugh. But anyway, so is this going to be for the long haul, or are you building towards the future? And that's kind of where you need to evaluate, because you just traded 2 of your best players, defensemen and draft picks. What is the purpose behind this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And
Well, my thing is this: did they put themselves in a situation where they paid their goalie so much that now they can't pay for any other elite players?
right.
That's why they got rid of Kaku.
right.
I probably said that completely wrong, but
Capo.
It is what it is. And
cocky.
and you look at it, this team was
I thought he was saying taco.
Taco.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they were a series away from going to the Cup Finals. They were the President's Trophy last year.
Yep.
Why are they so much struggling this year? The teams figure them out. Has there been inconsistency in the net? Maybe if you give him the contract,
When
it gets
you
his
had
mind
a
off of it.
goalie that is so inconsistent, one game he'll have 2 goals, and another game he'll have fucking 6.
And
So either way, it's just
The only way we know is because he texts us this.
Oh,
I don't follow him.
constantly. We'll screenshots show you the screenshots.
Right. I'm just like, I don't know what you want me to say. I mean, if they play my team, I hope they kick your ass. Like, that's what kind of I feel. Right now, like, I'm following the Lightning, and I'm kind of looking right here. Sorry about that. Tampa Bay is 6. Boston fired their coach. They're coming up now.
We're 7.
The surprise is the Washington Capitals, and Ovechkin's not even playing, but he got relegated to the 3rd line. New Jersey is second.
Old,
is that like the 3rd rail?
Yeah.
He's like 3rd string.
He's like 3rd string, but
Don't pee on the 3rd rail.
and a lot of people are saying the Los Angeles Kings are a surprise this year.
Yeah.
And
Kings?
The Kings are pretty decent.
Minnesota Wild are up there. Vegas says I'm just going off the top 4 in the Western Conference, no particular order, and then Winnipeg's right back up there again.
Hey, we're not okay. I want to admit we're not as bad as the Preds or the Sharks.
They got more points than you guys, but you got more wins over them too.
The Preds.
The Predators, which leads me to believe that another thing he wanted me to bring up was the Predators and the Rangers being disappointments this year. Because the Predators went out and spent a bunch of money on Steven Stamkos, this 2 other guys.
We're 12 and 20 and 2.
And they're 10, 17, and 7.
So
Hey, we won more games since we fired our head coach. So woohoo!
And the Utah Hockey Club is doing a little better.
They have their ups and they have their downs.
This is a roller coaster season. They were like number 1 for like the first 2 weeks, and then they're coming back up again.
is Winnipeg still doing super hot?
Winnipeg?
Yeah, they still super
they're
hot.
23, 10, and 1.
Wow.
47 points leading the West.
I just like to point this
Gotcha.
out is that Arizona, the former Utah Hockey Club, former Arizona Coyotes, one of the worst teams in hockey. Now one of the middle, like in the middle of the pack, kind of good hockey teams. Change the scenery, actually make them a good hockey team.
Usually
maybe.
happens that way.
Maybe they picked up a good GM and he's putting together a better team.
Maybe I just like
Right.
Pieces come in and everything like that.
And it's all about baby steps, right? Putting together that building block kind of team. So you've got about all of my hockey knowledge right there.
Yeah,
right?
I know. I don't really have anything else.
I watched my first hockey game in 1993 when I went to St. Louis.
was not even born.
I don't want to hear it. Anyway, and I went to St. Louis and I watched the
10 years later, buddy.
yeah, I watched who was it? It was the St. Louis Blues. They hosted, I want to say it was the team that would become the Colorado Rockies the next year.
Avalanche.
Yeah.
So it'd been
Or
the,
Avalanche, sorry.
Quebec.
Yeah.
Rockies is
Quebec
baseball,
would have
buddy.
been that
I know,
game.
brother. I had the right city though.
You had the right city.
You had the right
but
city,
wrong
yeah.
name. I'll give you that
Yeah.
much.
First NHL game was Tampa Bay when they
My
played the
first
Detroit Red
NHL
Wings.
game was 2 years ago. I was on crutches.
Oh,
Nice,
yeah. In
nice.
Chicago.
Yes. My brother decided to get tickets, and our seats were in the top row.
Oh, that's
Benefited
awesome.
you.
Huh?
It benefited you.
Yes.
Except for he's got to climb all those stairs. with
No, they
crutches.
took us the elevator when we went
Well, I
down.
had to take
Oh.
the elevator, then had to kind of crutch my way down the steps. Also, thank you to the stranger that kind of catched me because I went to take a step down and almost fell.
Ooh.
We had a good day that day. We met my wife and your brothers came with us, and we went to the Tampa. I'm the only one wearing blue. They're all wearing red because Tampa Bay was playing Chicago. He
Yeah.
picked that game,
Nice.
and
Also walked 3 miles. On
all right.
crutches.
yeah, he was out by the time we got back to the room before
My
the
arms
game.
were tired.
I'll bet.
And then as soon as we get back to the room after the game, knocked out. Let's just knocked out.
Yeah.
I'm a,
And we were all like, dude, just let him sleep. He had a long day on crutches. I'm like, no, I can't get to sleep. I wish I was on his level of exhaustion. It was really funny.
Yeah.
It was really.
not even 10 minutes. I just put my shirts on and just went.
We had a restaurant about right across the street from the stadium. It was like really good, like what, hot dogs and stuff.
It was pizza.
Pizza is what it was.
Oh no.
That was after the game.
That was after the game. Before the game was the Billy Goat Tavern.
Mm-hmm. So
On
Named
crutches.
after the Billy Goat curse
Hmm.
of
the
Cubs.
Cubs, yep.
Hmm.
And we got that practice facility for the Bulls right there. So we're able to say, it's like 6 championships. And so Jake's like, yeah, they're not going to get any more anytime soon.
No, they're not. They can't put together a team.
No.
They can't. Well, I don't think the ownership can put together a God, we're
They
back on
almost
basketball
had
again,
one
but
with Derrick Rose, and Derrick Rose broke both his knees.
yeah, that
They were trending towards that.
they
with
were,
him.
but they after Derrick Rose got hurt, they fired their GM, I think the next year.
Yep.
And they haven't been able to put a solid GM in there since. And yeah, without a solid GM, you're done. You're not going to win, especially in the NBA nowadays.
Right.
So
And just a scoring update. We're only 8 minutes into the first quarter. Ohio State is up 14-0. Tennessee.
Okay.
that surprised me.
No.
Is it too late to change my pick?
All right.
Isn't it too late
No,
to change my
it's too late.
pick? It is
too
too
late.
late.
Damn it.
It's never too late. It's never too late.
Hey,
Yeah. What?
nothing. So
We
bat
go into baseball,
some
and
baseball.
biggest story is Ricky Henderson passed away at the age of 65.
Yeah, that was
today.
a big one, man. That's a blast from my childhood.
What's up?
He texted me,
Who texted you?
Zach.
Yeah,
Oh.
right now, no, he did it earlier. That's an old message, old one.
Yeah.
So, Ricky Henderson, the stolen base king of the MLB, has passed away at the age of 65. He developed pneumonia and it got him. Condolences to his family. He was a great baseball player.
Yep.
Huge part of my personal, I guess, adolescence growing up watching baseball, because I'm a Texas Rangers fan, and we used to watch them in the A's. And Ricky Henderson, I've seen the man play live probably 7 different times over the years in the 90s, and the dude was just phenomenal.
He's
Yes.
like the third or fourth baseball legend to die within the last 4 or 5 months.
Yeah,
Yep.
people die in threes, right? So he's one of the 3.
One of the 3. Was able to go to that last
First was
game
Pete
in
Rose.
Oakland.
Yeah.
This past year. So that was really nice.
Yep.
And they had all the legends there and everything, and like just great baseball player. I didn't hear anything bad about him. I don't. My question is that I don't see that record ever getting broken.
No, there's no way.
'Cause they don't steal like
no, they
used
don't.
to.
That's an old
How many
school way of
stolen
baseball.
bases
'Cause-
did he have?
Stolen bases, it was I don't remember the number anymore. It's
It's
been
an
a long
insane
time.
number, and he is like
Yeah, it's
7 miles ahead of the second place guy.
Right, it's like somewhere in the 15 to 1700 stolen base range. It's
Right.
ridiculous how many he stole. Right,
Right.
I think he's got more stolen bases than runs scored.
That would surprise me. I mean, you can potentially steal 2 bases when you're on the base
Yep,
path.
yep.
And then he stole home a couple, like
He stole home about 7 or 8 times.
7 or 8 times.
Yep.
Most of anyone.
I watched. I loved watching him and Nolan Ryan.
1,406.
And who's second? Why wouldn't you bring up the list? We want to know who second is.
So, but yeah,
I had to throw that in there because Zach's always like, "Why would you just mention that? Why don't you mention
You're on the list.
you're on the list? You
So,
just made the list."
Yeah,
We had some while you're doing that, we had some free agent acquisitions and trades. Cody Bellinger, now part of the New York Yankees.
yeah,
They
had
funny thing is Cody Bellinger's wife is the ex-girlfriend of Giancarlo Stanton.
The outfit.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
I thought that was funny.
that's going to be a little bit of drama
A
there.
little bit of drama in the
Um,
Yankee clubhouse.
What about that Soto deal?
So
Soto-
the top 5 players in
All right,
stolen bases
We'll come back to Soto.
is Ricky Henderson,
Yep.
Lou Brock, Billy Hamilton, Ty Cobb, and Tim Raines.
Yeah,
Yeah,
none of those
nobody-
guys have played in the 2000s, except for maybe
Okay, so,
maybe since
so
2010.
Ricky Henderson is 1406. Lou Brock is 938.
Yeah,
Yeah, I told
Yeah.
you, like miles ahead of second.
Oh yeah.
There's nobody getting close.
914, 897,
Yeah.
808.
yeah. And people, none of those guys are playing anymore.
No, some of them are. A couple of them are dead.
Yeah, all of them. Lou Brock. I mean, you're talking about the 50s.
Yeah.
Billy Hamilton.
Billy Ant. There's a name I haven't heard in a long time. He's old coach for the Rangers.
Yeah, I know.
Like
You
long
gave
time
me, you gave me a
ago.
bunch of crap about wearing the Angels hat today. He's like, "Why are you wearing that hat? You got some goofy hats."
We talking about the play that played in the early 1900s.
Yeah, 1903.
Dang. Sorry about that. Didn't know. I'm not used to sitting over here. I keep hitting the mic.
Pretty much everyone in the top 5 is dead.
Yep. Now,
So we got Juan Soto is now a New York Met, and their World Series odds just went through the roof.
yeah, But- they're paying him $765 million over 15 years, which comes out to roughly $51 million a year, which is completely outrageous. I mean, that's I don't even think that's quarterback money, is it?
No,
I mean, quarterback money's in the 40s right now,
40s right now. Yeah,
and that's one player on a team that carries 40 players.
15 years, 765.
53, but
15 years, 765. Yep.
well, then your team and my team were in the running, and he took the higher deal.
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
What was the higher deal?
What? The Mets beat the highest deal by $1 million.
Yankees offered him a 16 year, over $776 million deal.
Yeah, but it still comes down to less than $51 million a year when you do the math. That's why he took it. He wanted more money per year than they were willing to
more
give him.
money over the long haul.
Right.
And
My thing is, I feel sorry for whoever takes that contract, because that's Alex Rodriguez type contract, right? Remember when he took the 10-year, like $120 million? Everybody's like, "Oh my God, that's ridiculous."
that's kind of the norm now.
This
I know.
is the only sports league that does not have a salary cap.
Right. Well, no, I'm more concerned with the length of contracts, right?
Yeah.
Most sports leagues only, or most of your like basketball, hockey, football. It's only 6 years.
Speaking of the Mets, they're still paying on the one dude that's not even playing for them anymore.
Oh, you're talking about Bobby Bonilla
Yeah.
with his
Bobby Bonilla Day.
Yeah, they're gonna pay that dude. What is it?
1.2.
Yeah, 1.2 million a year
For
basically until the man dies.
Yeah.
Essentially,
Oh yeah,
they've tried to buy that contract out from him multiple times.
And he
and
said
he
no.
says "F you," and I don't blame him. I do it too. I could sit at home making $1.2 million every year. Come on, man. Shoot.
Yeah, like they're still like, I'm like, yeah, like they're still paying on one. Speaking of the Mets, they're still paying on one player that he's not even he's retired.
And then they looked up, and there's other contracts out there. Like I think Ken Griffey Jr. is still getting money from Seattle.
Is he really?
And there's like 4 or 5 players that haven't played in over a decade that are still getting money. Not just
Yeah.
Bobby Bonilla. They actually looked into it because I think it's like, isn't it like June 2nd or 15th? It was like weird day in the
Mhm.
summer that it's Bobby Bonilla Day, and
Yeah.
they actually looked into actual other players that are getting money from other
Yeah,
franchises.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous. The list is like this long because it's deferred. That's one of the things that Shohei Ohtani said. I only want $2 million a year,
Yeah.
but you're going to pay me 68 or whatever, or 680 or whatever, however much it is afterwards.
Right.
Because that's more of, hey, we need to get guys in here now. You can pay me this, but you're going to pay me this. You're going to
Right. Right.
a crap ton at the end.
Well, that deferred payment thing is just, I mean, that's amazing.
yeah, we got.
Excuse me, if you can get it.
Hey,
Is
if
that-
you've got an agent like that, hey, sign me up.
Yeah, no, no doubt. Right.
I mean, I think if I look at, we got Cody Bellinger. We also got a couple trades too.
You guys just got Paul Goldschmidt because you want Nolan Arenado from St. Louis.
Yeah.
They're trying to get players in there to win a
Then we
championship.
got Fernando Cruz from the Cincinnati Reds and one other player for Jose Trevino.
Hmm.
And then you got you still got Jazz Chisholm over at third.
Yep.
And you let Rizzo go, but I haven't heard anybody pick him up yet.
No, we're just trying to get a first baseman in there.
You got Goldschmidt now.
Yeah, that's right.
Nolan Arenado probably play short.
Yep.
And then if they get him, because they're trying to lure Goldschmidt over, hoping they can get Arenado. That's the article I read today. Boston got the White Sox ace, which I don't know how great that is because they tanked last year.
Banking on trying to get Soto, but then we were like, then the Yankees like we can't get Soto, so we're trying to recollect and trying to like, okay, let's build a team for a championship.
That's what you got to do. I mean, that the Dodgers are the standard right now. Dodgers are getting all these players left and right. You need to compete with that.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I mean, we hate to mention the fact that Kansas City, but unless you take these teams down, you need stronger teams to take them down.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
So,
All right.
then
The big board
the
tonight.
big board is
This is going to get us in trouble, but we're going to do it.
So the big board tonight is, and I'm just putting it out there.
Well, it's going to get everybody but Jake in trouble.
everybody and Jake in trouble. So these are, in light of the Christmas holiday, are gift ideas not to give your spouse. That is our big board.
Frying
Yep.
pan.
Who wants to start? A frying pan. I was going to say a pots and pan set. Vacuum cleaner.
Vacuum cleaner. How about a mop?
This is an idea.
Mop.
Say you got her a brand new vehicle, you blindfold her, put her outside in the backyard, and you lift the blindfold out, and it's just a broom sitting on the ground with a bow.
See, you could talk all these bad gift ideas. We could give them to you so we don't get punished.
There you go.
I like
and you,
that.
And you
idea.
put a bow on it, and she looks in, and it's just a broom with a bow on it.
Right. I think
slap a bow on top of it.
yeah. Liposuction. Liposuction membership.
I didn't realize this at the time when I signed up for a gym membership in Florida. I put 5 names down, and they all texted me the next day. Are you saying I'm fat? So I put gym membership as one.
Nice. Gym membership. Yeah, that's a bad one.
Scale,
A scale. Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
spatula.
Yeah. You're talking about kitchen appliances at this point, you know.
One of the things Zach sent me, which some of them I can't say, divorce papers.
Ooh.
Buy her a dress, but make it like a size smaller.
Yeah. So buy her a dress one size too small, like the Grinch's heart.
Boob job.
I don't know. Maybe she
Some
wants
of them
it.
do like that, though.
Maybe she wants it.
Maybe.
Botox injections.
Ooh. You could go there. All right.
Well,
don't
yeah,
know.
My turn now?
Yeah.
Already?
Yeah.
Gee, oh, man. Oh, dude, I can't believe I thought that.
Oh no.
Underwear?
I don't know. What's wrong with that?
It's not edible or... You know,
Edible underwear.
I also got to think of gifts that I would want to receive too. We could kind of go on that a little bit too.
Oh, we could, yeah. Yeah, one
Toaster.
more.
A toaster, yeah. I don't know. A toaster's not a bad gift,
Mm.
especially if it's a cool toaster.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson nose job.
Ooh,
Oh.
damn.
A date with Helen Keller.
Ah,
Nose job.
nice. Nice.
An invite to Pete Diddy's party.
Oh, there you go.
Ooh.
Just make sure that you got
Yeah,
some
some
baby
baby
oil
oil.
on the side.
Oh, I want to bring that up because we
I
looked
got
it up
one
at
more.
work. We looked
Blind
it up
date
at
with
work.
Helen Keller.
There you go. It's
We looked this up. You know, this day he got arrested. The next day, the Johnson and Johnson baby oil stock went down.
Yep.
Like he was the main
He was
purchaser.
the main supplier for half their cost, man.
Yeah, I just remember. Yeah,
I just thought that was just way too coincidental.
whether their stock went down.
Yeah, their stock went down the day after he got arrested.
Hey, did someone say this? Lip injections?
Ooh,
Yeah. Well,
chapstick.
Yep. Plastic surgery.
Plastic surgery. I don't really have jewelry. Is not necessarily a bad gift, but I guess it just depends on the person.
No, jewelry is always a good gift.
Yeah,
Especially,
flowers are good. Like,
Lopsided boo job.
well, okay. Now you're getting ridiculous.
No,
but
just getting a little goofy. You
a
know?
little out of the hand. A little out of the hand there.
I thought you guys like the Michael Jackson nose job.
That was good though, but that's like plastic surgery.
Kind
Kinda
of,
like
yeah.
mine, yeah.
But I said that before you.
I know you did. I knew. I will give credit where credit is due.
Okay,
Yes.
I said Michael Jackson nose
You're right.
job.
I will give credit where credit is due. All right. So
what
next,
about a new tire?
a new tire?
Let's get it in the vehicle, but instead of giving the vehicle, you just give her a
Just
tire.
freaking
Just give her the tire.
All right. Or a steering wheel.
Steering wheel. That
Just
was
give
one
her
of
the
the things
steering
Zach
wheel.
brought up too.
Yeah, give her a steering wheel so she can sit in the passenger seat and steer the car.
So, what would be a bad gift that you would not want to receive? We'll go with that for a
A
minute.
tie.
What's wrong with a tie?
I don't know how to tie it.
Well, that's what the internet's for.
Yeah, YouTube, right here.
Okay.
I know, right? I don't know. What would be a gift I wouldn't want to receive? I mean, pretty much, it's more the thought that counts, I think.
That's
in my
how I
opinion,
am,
right?
But I know
that's
one
what
gift
I
that I
mean.
would not
I'm
want to
not a
receive.
terribly
What's
picky
that?
person.
Ohio State. An
Oh.
Ohio State jacket.
Oh,
Well, we're gonna have back feet now. I didn't mean not to click that. All right, so we're gonna have back feet. I'm like you. I know this is the thought that counts for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would definitely be something Ohio State. I just
don't know. I mean,
throw
you
it back
know,
at their face.
sometimes it's like I'd like a little more, but
Yeah,
but I'm not gonna, whatever I get is what I get.
yeah, that's how I am.
know. That's how I grew up. Is what
And-
you get is what you get.
Yeah.
I was always
Mhm.
told growing up that like I can give them the list. They always told me you may not get everything from Santa, or we may not be able to get you everything, but put on there what you want. So then, even though you may not get everything on the list, but you'll get some things on there.
Yeah,
See,
absolutely.
I
So
was always taught because we weren't blessed with the greatest opportunity, we weren't blessed with a lot of money. I was always taught that if we were given a gift, it's just the greatest thought to be thought of.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's always
Exactly.
the greatest thought.
I think more my thing is when I do give gifts, it's that warms me up than any gift that I can get.
Yep.
And not so much with the spouse, but with kids now too. And like I like seeing their faces when they go, "Oh my god, I got this
Yeah,
toy!"
that's
or,
always the best.
I got that, I got this, and I got that. Like to me, that means more than any gift you could give me.
Yep.
even when one of the gifts my coworker decided to give me was a keychain in the shape of a butt plug.
Well, I don't know. I might not want that gift. I don't know.
Depends on the situation.
You want depends?
No, yes.
What
I
size?
shit you not.
And what kind
Oh,
And we're down.
Like legit. He goes like, "Hey, Chick, go to my car. I have a surprise for you." I hold out my hand. He drops that in my hand. I'm like, "Dude, what the heck?"
Yep.
To me, what I would just be overjoyed with a gift, and like that would be like, oh my god, it was like kid in a candy store, like prime rib meat, like just meats for the freezer and stuff.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of like beef sticks,
Yep.
summer sausage, like
Just give me
that
a
means
giant slab of pine rib. I'll be happy.
Mhm. We mentioned that because our colleague is eating prime rib dinner as we speak.
Yeah, he sent me a picture.
Yeah, he sent me the picture too.
But he didn't
Shit.
send me nothing.
He's like yummy prime rib, but I'm like, good for
Wow.
you, dude. I like how we're just throwing him under the bus.
Hey,
too.
you had pulled pork tonight.
I loved
Yeah,
the
it
pulled
was
pork. It was great.
delicious.
It was
Yeah,
good
it was-
food. I don't complain about anybody's cooking or anything. I never do.
Yeah, Mr. Google did a little smoking this weekend, last weekend for my granddaughter Zoe's birthday party, and we had pulled pork, super delicious. And then Mrs. Google made us a bunch of yummy pasta salads, macaroni salad, other sides. It was a really good meal. You guys missed out. I wish everybody could have been there. All 0 of you.
All 0 of us. Yes.
That's okay though.
We do got a score update. Ohio State has now gone up 21 to nothing.
No, God.
No.
21-0 Ohio State.
Yeah. I'm a good luck.
Come on, Nico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you can say the last name. You struggle with Tua, but you can get Nico's last name right.
I watched a video and got taught how to say it. So
see, you do the YouTube for that, but you can't get your tie.
it was a TikTok I was scrolling and found. Okay, it was random.
All right, I'm going to send you a TikTok of somebody tying a tie. How about
fair
that?
enough.
We can look that up.
Usually, if I have to wear a tie, it's always clip on.
No.
So we should have been. Michigan should have been in the playoff because we didn't allow
See, I wore a tie at
points.
his wedding. Clip on.
Did you clip it onto this shirt?
That would have been funny.
I wish.
When he told me he was that a
See,
Christmas
what
gift?
I wanted to wear his wedding, my sister, his wife, vetoed it.
What do you want to wear?
Cut off shirt, Daisy Dukes, and pair of cowboy boots.
No, I don't.
If
blame
I
her.
can't wear it, you can't wear it.
And Carl can't wear it physically. That
No,
has nothing to
because she
do with
vetoed it
anything.
because I was an usher. She didn't want me wearing that, ushering people in the wedding.
Get out of here! You're so silly.
I'll be showing up with a cowboy hat cut off and a Daisy Duke.
Daisy,
I'm glad you got
comes in
deprived
here,
of
so
that.
your
Right?
belly's sticking out.
You might-
It's just coming up your mood.
He said he told me he goes, I'm going to give Jessica Simpson a run for my money.
Yeah.
Run for her money.
Yep. Just shirt short,
Oh,
long enough to cover the moobs. Some Daisy Dukes, so you got a butt cheek or two hanging out.
Hey. We're getting weird off topic.
And Megan's
Here.
like,
Yeah,
if
we
I
are.
see you show up to my wedding in that, I'm gonna kill you.
Yep. And
Well, you're
I don't-
still alive, so
Yep.
you didn't
Yes.
show up. I'm glad we got deprived of that. I was really happy I didn't get to see that.
No, me too.
So-
I don't even want that image in my head. I'm gonna have to
No.
scrub my brain when we're done here.
I know what I'm showing up to the next podcast in.
Yeah.
Well, at least they'll only see the top of you. That's
Yeah.
You know,
We'll
we're in the
we'll get
next
we'll
podcast.
just get like a 360 camera going around so
Yeah.
everybody sees it. So we got the plug. I'm gonna let you do it this week.
All right. So today's podcast is brought to you by B&L Creative Designs. We're a woodworking and we have a laser engraver. We do all your woodworking and jewelry needs. We've got our bracelets here, our prayer bracelets for Mrs. Google, who is recovering from surgery after a lung cancer.
Yep.
And we are and she's doing great, by the way. She's really recovering well. She's probably doing way more than she should, but you can't keep Mrs. Google down. She is tough
No.
as nails, and we love her to death. So if you want cribbage boards, if you need cutting boards, if you need a bracelet, a necklace, Mrs. Google is making t-shirts now. You saw what Jake was wearing. The podcast shirts. We can make podcast shirts if you want one for your boys here. We can make shirts for all kinds of stuff. Mrs. Google is making shirts for a trucking company right now. That local trucking company. They come to her for their t-shirts. She does a great job. More power. You guys would be remiss to not ask her to make you your t-shirts for your next event. You need t-shirts for a family reunion. If you want matching bracelets, she makes them for. She makes the prayer bracelets. She makes regular bracelets. You got a sports team you want a bracelet for, you can do that. Things like that. Or give us a shout. Our website is bnlcreativedesigns.com. Or if you want our Etsy page, you can contact our Etsy at BL Creative Design Shop. That's BL Creative Design Shop.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
There you go. Why not have the B of B&L do the promo?
There you go.
So I
Have
didn't
me
have to
do it.
FOMO.
I'll be stuttering and like trying to know what I'm doing.
Yeah, when we shoot the promos during the week, I'm like, I gotta remember. That's
See,
like
the one promo
Yep.
I did, I had to retape it like 3 times because I couldn't get the plug just right.
Yep. And if you want, I can make retirement gifts. I can make shadow boxes. Just give me a shout.
thank you for that.
Thank
Like
you.
that. Yeah. I figured why not.
Yeah.
So we'll get to the cream of the crop, the NFL. Sorry about your Broncos the other night. We'll bring that up. We'll talk
All we
about
had
that.
to do was just win the game. We're up by 11 points twice.
And the final ended up being 34-27.
Yuck.
9-6. Denver's 9-6.
I mean, we deserve to lose when our defense legit caused, not kidding, 6 penalties on one drive.
Ooh. Ouch. And we had some games today. Chiefs win 27-19 over Houston, and Baltimore pulls it out over Pittsburgh 34-17. We didn't watch it. So we kind of watched the Kansas City game, but with kids here, we kind of let them kind of run the show there for a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit chaotic, but it's all
I was
right.
watching a movie on my phone.
Kind of going over some things that happened over the last couple of weeks. One of the things I kind of wanted to bring up was the disappointment of the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man.
It is.
6-8, derailed with injuries. They still have a chance at the division.
They do, but
The division's
Not
a lot tougher.
looking. It's not looking pretty for those guys. I mean,
No.
they had. I think they had the most promise this year coming in. Right, out of all the
So
teams
close,
that are
so-
coming up.
So
yeah.
close to the Super Bowl last year.
Oh yeah.
To winning it.
Yep.
That was a great job. You didn't think I was going to go there, did you?
With that division, it's completely wide open. Like the Seahawks could win the division, the Rams could win the division.
Right now, Rams are
I think even
the
Arizona have a chance to win. The
yeah.
division.
All 4 teams are still in the running. They're 8-6. The Rams and Seahawks. 7-7 is the Cardinals. I mean, by looking at it, it's competitive, but it's not a great division. But I do think that somebody from this division will have a winning
You're
record,
talking about,
and we'll have a home playoff game.
You say you brought up like a team that Champions was riddled with injuries. You want to talk about another team that's lost 2 games currently. What 11-12-2?
Are we talking about the Detroit Lions?
Yes. Detroit Lions. They've had 20 players with injury, 16 of those on the defense.
Yeah, they keep trucking along too.
Oh yeah, they keep trucking along. They just kept next man up, and that's one of them. I'm surprised that they keep doing what they're doing with the next man up. They just David Montgomery thought he was gonna have season-ending injury, but he's like, nope, I am still playing. I'm still gonna take other options. I'm like, dude, your defense is gonna be playing with third stringers and practice squads. I'm not be surprised seeing your defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn putting on pads and a helmet on the sideline.
They went out and got Jamal Adams. They said
wow.
he's on the practice squad for them.
Nice.
I do believe he'll be starting soon. I would assume.
hope, like their secondary is held together by band-aids,
Which
not a bullet hole.
Bubblegum and duct tape.
yeah.
Yes.
And right now it's between them, the Eagles, and the Vikings for the number 1 seed. Right now,
yeah.
Detroit plays Chicago tomorrow. Minnesota is. I'm kind of looking at my notes here. Just bear with a second. They play at Seattle, and Philadelphia plays Washington. Minnesota, Philadelphia are on the road.
So I mean, you don't run the NFC playoff picture. I mean, the NFC South is probably going to go down to maybe
I think it's just Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay. I could argue Atlanta, but with that quarterback problem the way it is right now, no.
What? You don't think the Panthers have a chance?
I mean, Bryce Young got benched, came off the bench with Dalton getting injured, is now looking like a great quarterback.
Yeah. Yep.
It's what he needed.
Yep.
It's what he needed.
He's
probably.
making the throws that he didn't want to make, and he's just putting them all up there like he has nothing to lose.
Really, he
glad.
doesn't.
He
Since
really
got
doesn't.
benched.
I mean, what are they going to do? Trade him?
What are they going to do? Bench him again? Come
Bench
on.
him again?
Right now, they don't even want to bench him for.
No.
Oh yeah. So oh my god. So he's playing like he has nothing to lose, which is good. And like Kirk Cousins is gonna get cut by the end of the year.
Yep.
Michael
I heard
Penix.
about that.
It's your
And
starter
so
now
this
in Atlanta.
funny meme about the Falcons. Them, what is their interception with left-handed quarterbacks named Mike, and their last name being one letter away, being named from male reproductive organs.
Yeah. Right? It's true.
It is. So we're gonna see what Michael Penix does, and see how that goes.
Atlanta plays the Giants tomorrow, which if you're going to bench Kirk Cousins and start Penix, that's the game to do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
it
Giants
is.
are a dumpster fire, and it wasn't Daniel Jones's fault.
No.
Tampa Bay is at Dallas tomorrow night on Sunday Night Football. We're not picking NFL right now during the bowl games, but I do. Google, do you think they pull it up? Cowboys pull it off, or does Tampa beat them?
Oh, Tampa's going to beat them. I expect them to beat them by 12.
12?
Yeah.
12-0, right?
But yeah, the way that Dallas has been playing, absolutely. Absolutely.
I do like how Cooper Rush is playing.
Yeah, but it's pedestrian football, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's mediocre at its best.
Right.
You're not getting any real big plays out of the man. He makes all the plays he should make, but he's not making the big ones, right?
More of a playbook type quarterback.
Absolutely. I believe I would call Cooper Rush a system quarterback. I hate to say it, right? But he's a system quarterback, and he's not in a system that works within his skill set.
Oh, yeah. And you go to the AFC side in the playoff picture, the
Right.
West is probably going to come down to at least 2, maybe 3 teams in the playoffs, with the Chiefs being already have one spot locked up.
The AFC West.
Yeah, the Chiefs are going to take that side. I think really I don't really see anybody in the AFC that's going to knock the Chiefs out the way that they're playing, right? Because they always and maybe I'm
that's keeping them in there is their defense.
Right.
I'm very surprised how well that defense is playing.
Yeah, and I may be naive about this, right? But I believe that when you have to make the play, the Chiefs make the play. Period.
Yeah.
And they win.
Yep.
They win the games they have to. They let go of the ones they don't. They're being very strategic in how they're playing, and I think that that's going to hold them through. At least it's going to get them to the playoffs, and I think it's going to take them to the Super Bowl again. Andy Reid is a coaching force to be reckoned with in the NFL right now. I don't think there's another coach out there that can coach at his level. No. He is on another level from the other coaches, and he is just taking that team to places that normally teams wouldn't get to. I mean, you have great players, but without a good coach is putting them in the right places and doing the right things, calling the right plays, he's just amazing.
Yeah, and pretty much flipping the script. It reminds me, and I'm not throwing shade at this, the Broncos from when they had Peyton Manning, all about offense.
Yeah.
And they weren't going to win with just outscoring the other opponent, because if you stop them, they can't stop you. They're not going to be able to stop you.
Right.
So now Kansas City has shifted it around to where defense first. They're suffering a little bit on offense, but they lost a couple of receivers to injury earlier in the year.
Right. Yeah.
Worthy is starting to come on a little bit. He's got drafted to kind of be that Tyreek Hill replacement.
Yep.
There's been some speculation that Hill may be back with the Chiefs at some point in his career. I don't see it, but the running game is kind of non-existent, but they run when they need to.
Right.
Like down on the goal line, they weren't going to give it to Travis. They're going to throw to Travis Kelce. They're going to hand it off to Kareem Hunt. He scored one touchdown today.
Right.
And that's how you are able to change your game plan on the fly. And that's what you said is Andy Reid is great at doing that.
This is one of the worst years for Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes. He was like, oh, Mahomes is great this year. No, he's not. Statistically, he's almost leading the league in interceptions.
Right. Yeah. I mean, when your defense is holding other teams to 18 points on average, I mean, you don't have to score a lot. You don't, right? It's not like Dallas
you
where
just don't have to turn over the ball too many times.
Right. And
if
they don't.
18,
right?
All I got to do is score 21. Blackjack.
Yeah, there you go. You got to score 3 times.
Yeah.
Yes.
But 18 on average, right? It's not like Dallas where, we had to beat teams we had to score 35 to win ball games back in, because everybody's like, I'm always obviously a Dallas Cowboys fan, right?
Yes.
We've been very good offensively for a long time, but defensively we've had struggles. And so, we were able to score 30, 35 points a game, but when you're giving up 32, you don't win a lot of ball games that way, especially when another team has a defense.
And you bring up a good point to that, because there's times in the regular season where I see the Cowboys. I mean, this defense is light out.
Yeah.
They look great. They're doing things.
That was
last
year's defense.
And they get to the postseason, they get exposed.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't understand why. It's like they're too inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, when I look at just overall, when I'm watching Dallas over the last, we'll just say 15, 16 years, I'm going to go Romo and Prescott. Not really so much as mirror images of each other, because Romo, there was a lot of games where if Romo didn't play the way he played, they get crushed.
Yep.
Now, I don't see that out of Prescott.
No, I don't either.
He has those games. He has his moments where he could put up 300 yards, but he's throwing 2 picks.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And he's trying. I give him that.
He's a good quarterback, but I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but his issue is he's not he doesn't make the big throws when he needs to.
No.
He throws the ball away or throws it to the other.
He tries to thread the needle.
Plays catch with the other team.
There you go. Yeah. There you go.
That was really one of the things that kind of opened my eye in that New Orleans game. I know this is week 2, but when the game is on, they're down maybe a few scores, but they get one more touchdown, they're back in it. Defense makes a stop, we're back in it kind of thing. he's not making the throws when he needs to.
Nope.
And maybe some of that has to do with not being able to run the football, which they have the last 2 games, but look at their opponents, Cincinnati, Carolina.
Mhm.
But they're still running it well. They got a test tomorrow night with the Bucks because Dallas is still in the playoff hunt.
Oh
Regardless.
yeah, we got like a 0.04% chance or some nonsense.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah, like the Giants had
and
3
like-
weeks ago.
I
And
don't
you got a
know,
Baker Mayfield who is just lights out right
Yeah.
now.
rejuvenated.
Rejuvenated.
His,
Yes.
He doesn't have to be Tom Brady. He just has to be Baker
it
Mayfield.
just regenerated his career.
There you go.
He got
They're
Mike
Lord.
Evans. He got Mike Evans back. He's got a good tight end.
Yep.
He's got this running back now who was a rookie from Oregon. That is
Yep.
Bryce or Bucky Jones or whatever. his
Bucky
name-
Irving.
Bucky Irving
Yep. But
coming on and just doing well. It's
Yep.
gonna be a good matchup tomorrow night, I think.
So
they've
I was
got a
gonna-
defense this year.
yeah, I was going back to my original very surprising for my team. I didn't expect my team to go this good this year. I mean, yeah, we lost against the Chargers, but I think we can pull it out against. I think we got.
But there was fighting for playoff positioning. You're not going
Mm-hmm.
to see the Chargers and Jim Harbaugh lay down.
No.
And my thing is hopefully Peyton and the Broncos learn from this. So next time they're in this position, they can deliver that knockout blow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think Jim Harbaugh is 3 years from a championship. From a
I
Super
I don't
Bowl.
want to. I don't want to hear that because I want another one in Michigan. No, I'm just kidding. I really do think that they
The
stay
way
the
he
course.
turned it around in 1 year, it's
Yeah.
just how it is, and just like how
They were a 5-win team last year.
My issue with Harbaugh defense, right? I think that's where he's not
he's
solid right now.
lacking.
He doesn't have any leader. He's got a great defense, but he doesn't have a leader on that defense.
No.
Nobody's leading their defense, right? He doesn't have that field general in the linebacker core that's gonna.
Which is surprising
way
because you
that
got
Mike
Khalil
G-
Mack, Joey
Right.
Bosa,
But-
Derwin James.
But I think you got too much there,
Yeah.
and so I think it's causing friction
Also, in the
instead
way
of
that,
having somebody who can run it.
the way that defense cannot gel right away and just be
Yep.
stagnant, and where the Denver just exploited and threw almost 250 yards of total offense on a defense within the first half.
That's pretty.
Not
That's,
have a running offense the entire season and go and almost run 90 yards in the first half.
yeah.
And the Chargers is one of the underrated defenses, but like you're saying, no leadership.
Mhm.
That's going to cost them when they get to the postseason because right now, Indianapolis and Miami are behind Denver and LA. Denver, unless they fold, them two are making it.
Bengals
Baltimore
are
clinched a playoff
looking
spot today.
to try to make it to the playoffs, but they got to go through Denver.
And who do they play the last week of the season? I think it's Baltimore or no, they play Cleveland. No,
They play Cleveland tomorrow.
and then they play Cleveland in 2 weeks.
Yep.
So they have a very realistic shot.
They do. Absolutely.
So
Yeah. I think
and
Actually, it's Browns, Bengals, Steelers, or Browns, Broncos, Steelers. For the last 3 games, the Bengals.
and then if you're getting a Pittsburgh team that doesn't have anything to gain, they're going to rest players for the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's why I
they're
said-
still gonna try to beat the Bengals as a division rival,
Because
but
for even this is a situation for Bengals to make the playoffs that we have to lose our last 2.
yeah,
We have to lose out.
yep. And right now, you got to play Cincinnati next week, which is probably gonna be the game of the week.
And like, oh, you're gonna lose the Chiefs. I'm like,
gonna be
guarantee
a lot of
going into
orange.
that last game against the Chiefs, they're gonna sit their starters because they're probably gonna lock up that number 1 seed by the time they get to us. So they're gonna sit, maybe play their starters for a first quarter,
Right.
then sit them, and we're gonna beat their backups.
Right.
Yep.
So when you're looking at seedings as far as playoffs are concerned, I think with Philadelphia wins tomorrow over Washington,
Yep.
doesn't eliminate Washington. Philadelphia would clinch the
Yes.
NFC,
Yep, which would
NFC
be the
East.
21st year in a row or some
There's
nonsense.
been a new
That's just been a
champion of
different
that division.
championship. Yeah, or
We're a
Green
different
Bay
different
winner
of the division.
NFC East winner.
And Green
Yep.
Bay winning on Monday night, they would clinch a playoff spot. Which
Yep.
I'm not trying to be biased. It's only a matter of time before they do. They're 10-4.
Yeah,
but-
then you got I mean, the top contendings for the Super Bowl in the AFC is definitely the Chiefs. They're probably going to go compete for that 3-peat.
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo, Baltimore, Pittsburgh. And you
Right.
got-
I think Baltimore's exposed. I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna be as strong as into the
No,
playoffs
they're
as
gonna
they
be
seem.
strong. You
It'll be
got
a tough out.
I do.
as the division winner. I think they're going to be like 1 and done.
I think I
Houston?
really don't think. Yeah, Houston is
Houston's
struggling.
going to be in there because they're going to win the South.
I know, but I'm
They've
not
already won the
convinced that
South.
they're.
They're already in. They've
Yeah.
already won the South.
I'm not convinced that Houston's going to be able to even make a deep run into the playoffs.
That's why I said they're going to be 1 and out.
Oh, 1 and out. I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Well,
that's why
yeah.
I said they're going to be 1 and out. They're
Gotcha.
going to be 1 and out.
And
I
they
don't
lost
think they're
Tank
gonna
Dell
make a
today,
deep
which
run.
grew some knee
Dave, my
injury.
honest
Yeah.
opinion, they're injured. They're injury riddled.
Yeah.
They're going to get
I don't-
exposed. They're going to be 1 and out.
I don't think CJ Stroud is ready for that kind of pressure. I don't think he'll be able to handle it.
Yeah,
And then you got
I would agree. I think Houston plays Kansas City Wednesday on Christmas, and like these four teams.
Didn't Houston, Kansas City just play today?
No, you're right. It's Pittsburgh plays
Yeah.
Kansas City, Baltimore plays Houston because the games today
Christmas Day,
they
which is
play on
Wednesday.
Christmas Day. It's just rotate around.
Right.
Thank you for the correction. Sorry,
You're
about that.
welcome. Yeah, man. I got to keep you straight.
So
Got to keep it in the ditches.
Keep
So
the
I
distance
saw this.
between the
and,
mayonnaise and the
um,
mustard.
There you go. Go ahead. Unless you don't
If
want it on
the
your hot dog.
Bengals do find some way to make the playoffs, does Joe Burrow get that MVP?
I think he does.
No.
Remember we had that rant a few weeks ago.
No.
You don't think so?
You know,
I still don't think so.
No,
with
I'm
them making
a,
the playoffs in some way with the
I-
stats.
I
I
do-
tell you what, if Joe Burrow can get the Bengals to the playoffs and he can take them at least to the second round, I think he's got a shot. But
that's
he-
legit.
But if he doesn't get there, I don't agree. I don't think that he's going to make it. Right? Whether or not he should or not is a different animal, but I don't think that he
Right.
will. Right?
I
I-
think Josh
sports
Allen
writers-
is the MVP.
Sports writers are notoriously fickle when it comes to wins. Right?
Yes, they are.
And-
Like they look at the team's wins. If you are the Bengals have the league leading passing
Yep.
yards, receiving yards,
Yep.
and sack leader on their team.
Right. Because my
But
thing
they're
is
currently below 500 for
right.
wins.
If that was what they wanted to see to give you the MVP, then Alex Smith would have won it 3 times.
Oh
Yeah.
In a row, because he threw for like 4,500 yards for 3 years in a row. He had the best completion percentages. He had touchdowns, and he still couldn't win it. But that's because Washington would either not make the playoffs because their defense was awful, or they got bounced in the first round.
Right.
For Kansas City.
Or Kansas City. He was part of the
He
Chiefs.
was
as
1
well.
year and done in Washington because he broke his leg.
Well, he played that
Oh,
following year.
you're
too.
right. You're right. That's what
He
I meant.
played a following year and won comeback player of the year.
Hold up. Who am I thinking of then? Who was I thinking of in Washington that
Kirk
day?
Cousins?
Was it
Kirk
Cousins that they kept throwing?
Kirk Cousins had like 5,000 yard pass
Yeah.
seasons with Washington.
Oh,
That's
but
who I'm thinking
they
of.
didn't. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of.
When you think of Helson,
Case in point, though. Yeah.
Yes.
So if we're looking at wins, we got Detroit, Minnesota, Philadelphia,
Yep.
Buffalo, Kansas City, and to me, I think it's Josh Allen's to lose.
Oh yeah.
Josh Allen is on a tear.
Ever since he got engaged, he's been on a tear. Like you look at his stats, like since he's got engaged, he got this many yards, this many touchdowns, like maybe one.
I'm just gonna say this right now: when you get engaged with the love of your life, it's gonna make you do crazy shit too. I'm just saying.
Hey man, I just want to see. He just wants the free trip to Disney World for his
Wouldn't
honeymoon.
you?
honeymoon.
And I looked at it, and everybody's like, the Super Bowl we want is the one that we got last week, Buffalo and
Yep.
Detroit.
Oh yeah.
And the
Buffalo,
Super Bowl we're
Detroit.
gonna get is probably Philadelphia, Kansas City,
Probably,
or Minnesota.
but I mean, you've got to be able to put it together in the playoffs, right?
And
if you can't
I
put the
think
run
this
off in
is
the playoffs,
First year that people were questioning that will it be Kansas City because look at what they've been doing in the regular season, like barely making it through games and not really playing.
well, they're 14-1. They're not terrible.
a win's a win. They're not losing games. I mean, they're not winning games. I mean, they're still putting enough together to win at least decently, right? They're not blowing people out by like 30 points, but
No,
they're still, they're winning by 5, 6. Realistically, their average.
only winning by like maybe a possession.
That's
Well,
fine.
that
Again,
this-
a win's a win, man. As long as you
wins a win.
and that's the brilliance of Andy Reid.
Yeah.
It really is. And
isn't that what?
absolutely.
And
you know,
something
did I
Tennessee is
expect
not
my
doing
team
right
to
now
have
over
9
Ohio.
wins? Did I expect Denver to have 9 wins this season? Heck no.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
absolutely.
expected us to do decent, but not to have 9 wins. I expected us to finish honestly.
You got
8-9.
at least your first winning season since 2015 when they won the Super Bowl 50.
We have the second longest drought for playoffs.
Really?
Well, they're gonna make it. I'm sorry. I
to
mean,
who? The Jets?
Yes,
well,
Jets is 14.
I bring up the Jets.
We're
only
2015. They're 2010.
Yeah.
I bring up the Jets because something came out this week. I know they're terrible. We wouldn't talk about them unless this came out. Woody Johnson vetoed a trade for Jerry Jeudy because of his Madden rating. How dysfunctional is that?
What?
His Madden rating was too low, so he said no. And he listened to his 17-year-old kid and said, or grandson, and said, "Hey, yeah, his Madden rating's too low. Don't get him." And Jerry Jeudy is having an damn near all-pro season with Cleveland.
I mean, he's definitely having a good fantasy season, if nothing
sell
else.
the team and actually get a comparable owner and GM in that thing. You might actually have a good franchise in New Jersey.
That sounds like some Jerry Jones nonsense.
Right. And then, we look at everybody wants to point to Aaron,
Jerry Jones.
everybody wants to point at Aaron Rodgers being the problem. Okay,
Yeah.
I admit he is a problem, but it starts at the top.
Right. Absolutely.
That is sorry, that's bullshit. I mean, right now, if you're
That's how you really feel.
if you look at it, Jerry Jeudy comes over to, let's just hypothetically say he comes over to the Jets. You don't make that trade for Devontae Adams.
No.
So you have Garrett Wilson, Jerry Jeudy, probably Mike Williams. I mean, I don't know if Mike Williams still pans out for the Jets. I don't think it changes your season, but it's like, really? It kind of just makes you kind of shake your head, just head scratching.
Well, yeah, I hear what you're saying. I don't know. I don't know how Rodgers would be if he actually had a decent wide receiver core. But because I'm also concerned because they don't have a defense, really.
No.
I mean, it's hard to outscore.
You gave up 25 points to Jacksonville, who's
Right.
a backup quarterback.
Right.
I mean, they're not great.
Let's see what their average points against are. While you talk.
Okay, and the Jets tomorrow will host the Rams.
Yeah, Rams going to win that one. No,
I got the picking the Jets because I think it's a trap game for the Rams. Because they're going to be looking ahead and be like, we got this, old washed quarterback.
No, not. I don't think Rick Vay's going to look at that trap game. I think Rick Vay's one of those coaches. They take it one game at a time. They're not like look ahead.
I do too. I'm just picking the Jets because I didn't want to pick the Rams.
My honest opinion, Rick Vay's one of the best coaches out there besides Andy Reid. That is one of the smartest ones.
And
he can, like what Zach said a couple weeks ago, was like he can remember plays and what they ran on one team. Washington like 8 years ago. And
that's what you do. That's exactly what you do. Speaking of
what defense they were in, and I'm like,
well, the thing I'm going to bring up is we could potentially we talked about how porous or not porous the NFC West is. If Washington doesn't get their act together, we could see two teams from the NFC West making it.
The
Seahawks and the Rams.
I want to speak of this draft, this upcoming draft. This is going to be like a receiver heavy, typically a receiver heavy, defensive heavy, a few lineman heavy draft. Maybe a couple good quarterbacks. And then I'll look at a couple mock drafts, and it just ticked me off. Because, two quarterbacks that were taken in the first round, they had going in the first round, Carson Beck and Jalen Milroe.
So the Jets have scored an average of 20.5 points a game this year, and they've given up 22.4.
Yeah, and then we wonder why they're 4-10.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, if Rodgers had a decent, I mean, that's not an insurmountable points per game against.
No.
I mean, you can really, with a decent receiver core, and a good quarterback, you can get over that.
And I was looking at Rodgers' stats this week. He hasn't played well. I get that. His stats aren't really that bad.
No.
He's got 3,200 yards,
20
20-something touchdowns, and 7 picks.
Yeah.
This is like a 2013, 2012 Green Bay Packers season.
Yeah.
Where's the problem?
Defense.
Yeah. And you got your head coach fired in week 5. Like, why?
Yeah. Yeah.
And guess where he's at? He's helping Matt LaFleur in Green Bay.
There
See
you
how
go.
that goes full circle, folks.
Yeah.
That's weird.
So
how that
this
happens.
brings me back to the draft. Like they had this mock draft had Carson Beck and Jalen Milroe go in the
We
first round.
don't know the extent of Carson Beck's injury. They haven't said.
No.
We don't,
And honestly, I
he's
don't
out for
think-
the year.
Do I think
Well-
they get drafted? Yes. Do I think they're first round talented quarterbacks? Heck no.
I can see Milroe because of his mobility.
My-
You want my honest opinion, Milroe? He's a glorified running back and
That's what I'm saying.
can throw a half decent ball.
But both these quarterbacks can't hold it down under pressure.
No, they cannot.
Well, my thing is, if you don't put them on a team that can protect them, they're done.
Yeah, if they get
Neither one of
drafted-
them is going to get away from those.
No,
Those
if you have a
4-8 running linebackers.
I hate to throw shade at the Bears O line, but if
Mhm.
you have an O line like that, they're not going anywhere.
No.
They're going to get hit. They're going to get sacked 50, 60 times
Yep.
a year. Caleb Williams is figuring that out right now.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Poor guy. I mean, they were 4-2.
I'll
They're
see
4-10.
the photo of him on the sideline.
I mean, yeah, and that makes a quarterback, especially in his rookie year, that makes them gun shy in the future.
Look at David Carr back in
Yep.
2002
Oh my
draft. He was
God.
drafted first overall
Yep.
by the Texans.
Yep.
And he got sacked for a record breaking. I think was it like 86 times.
I think so.
Yes.
Something in
Yeah.
that range, yeah.
And
And that
I-
does something to you mentally.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
And he was shown on the sideline of that Minnesota game Monday night. Like he just said, I want to be there.
Yep.
Can the season be over?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're getting pounded every single game, wow, that sounded bad. But anyway, if you're getting pounded every single game,
I like
you're
it.
you're gonna want to sit on the bench too,
76 times.
or maybe stand near it because
I was off by 10. 76.
you hurt.
Oh, yeah.
So
I'm just looking here.
the playoffs are going in college.
Yep, we'll go with the college football.
Yeah, I
playoff.
thought Joe Burrow broke that.
I don't know, did he?
What did he break?
The being sacked the most times.
So
I thought he broke that by being sacked 80 times.
Maybe.
we weren't on for the committee selection show. I mean, the biggest uproar was SMU, Alabama. I mean, we already know how this all played out, but going back, retracking a week, did dork.
Sorry, Zach said.
I know.
some-
Can I get pounded? Yes. Not the person to do that. So we looked at the first round matchups. I mean, we'll get to the bowl games that we're picking later. So
Text that in the group
we
chat.
had Navy beat
I wonder
Army last
why.
week. I'm going into college, dude. Why are you on NFL?
Oh, I was just looking at who got sacked.
So yeah,
Monotone, dude. Monotone when you look that up.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm just kidding. So right now, we're gonna go back to because we haven't been on since the playoff committee released their 12 teams. There's not controversy, but it came down to Bama and SMU. We all believe SMU should have got in,
Yes.
but now do we think, looking back on it, because SMU lost to Notre Dame last night, should it, or SMU lost to Penn State, should it go off strength of schedule or deserving, or should we? Is there any tweaks that we need to make to this playoff format?
I don't think there should be tweaks because of the fact is I think everyone's sour because of mainly people are sour is Bama fans that think that they should have gotten in.
Win more games.
right, win more games, right? And the problem that I have is they need to figure out a way to take the human element out of the rankings.
Yeah.
I appreciate that you've got, quote unquote unbiased people trying to help make the put it together, right? And you're kind of taking the old school FBS approach where they had the computer and all that stuff based on strength of schedule, quality wins, and all that. But they also tried to put a human element in there, and I don't think they've got a solid consensus of how to do this properly, right? I still don't think that they've got it right.
I don't think they'll ever get it right.
I don't think they
There's
will.
always-
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong, right? They're never going to get it right to the way the fans want it because
Yes.
everybody says their team's better. But that aside, right? Again, there's your human element.
Right.
I think that they need to find a way, and with AI coming out, this new generative AI, and all these other analytics, right? You should be able to drop all the stats into some kind of AI program that goes through and unbiasedly chooses all these teams, right?
I think they should just have a chicken pick the teams. Goes in the thing.
Well, yeah, but then you're going to end up with Chattanooga State against, I don't know, some team out of.
Okay, if Chattanooga State makes the college football playoff, we're rooting for them to go all the way.
Absolutely, but
That'd be fun.
that's a chicken that needs to be eaten.
Yes.
So
I'm glad you caught on to that. Thanks.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
You guys know this. I think I called Taro this, but so FBS does 12 teams.
Mm-hmm.
FCS doubles that and does 24.
24.
So they do a 12 team. 12 of them are conference winners.
Right.
13 of them are at large.
Okay.
11 of them are at large. Or
Or is it 12 at large, 12 and then 12 conference champs, and that'd be
yes.
24.
Now that's 12 at large since because now it was 11 and 13 at large because of only 11 being conference champions. But now since the new rule that they're going to be a new thing they added for next year is that Ivy League champion will automatically get a bid.
Then give one to the
Yeah.
Commanders Cup champion. What the hell, man?
Okay.
I mean, really, why don't we just give the Pee Wee team downstate? And I mean, come on.
West Lion. West
There-
Lion.
there's
is
really
in,
only 5. There's really only 5 conferences that the Power 5, and they're the ones who get the outlier bids. Otherwise, break up these stupid conferences because it's dumb in the first place. Why is Texas in the Southeastern Conference? They're in Texas, for crying out loud, just like A&M. Okay, you want your money, got it, but let's make it make sense.
Yes.
Right now, it just makes sense that why in the hell is Cal or Oregon in the Big Ten? The
Yeah.
Big Ten is the basically the Northeastern Conference of the college. There's no reason why. I'm sorry, I'm on a rant. But
No, go.
That's fine.
Keep
Go.
going.
I think it's because of the
You have.
fact
Go ahead.
is
Go ahead. Sorry.
The main reason why teams go to different conferences is the TV deals that these conferences have.
right,
And one of the conferences that had one of the worst TV deals ever was the freaking Pac-12. Went to watch it. Mainly all the games to watch the Pac-12 was on the Pac-12 network or Pac-12 After Dark. So they have these teams.
Oregon State and
after
Arizona.
dark. What is that? Their porn channel?
I guess.
I mean, you had the Beavers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Sun
had the
Devils.
Beavers.
Well,
And
they were
so-
part of the
so
Pac-12.
you had the other networks like SEC, the Big Ten, and the ACC.
Yeah,
All having these gigantic TV network deals.
Yeah.
So we having these teams jumping to their conferences so they can get on the TV deal.
Yeah, I know, but-
go ahead. Go ahead.
the NCAA should regulate that.
Yeah.
That's their job, right? They should say, okay, here's how we're going to handle it. Because like the NFL, right? The NFL does that. They say, okay, all TV revenue gets split evenly between the teams, right? Based on market size,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
And that makes sense, right? It shouldn't be, hey, the Big Ten in which is in the upper Midwest and that area, right?
Big Ten now starts from coast to coast.
Yeah.
Right, which is dumb.
Yeah.
So
They-
is the ACC.
right.
You had Cal in the ACC.
They need-
Atlantic Coast Conference, and there's a Pacific Coast
Right.
team.
And but because my thing is this, right? You can put teams in regional conferences, right?
Yep.
But and you can still preserve your
Revenue?
no teams that play each other. Ohio State and Michigan.
Yep.
Your rivalries. There it is. That's what I'm looking for, right? You can still preserve your rivalries.
Yeah.
They don't have to be in the same league. It's all about state anyway.
Yeah.
So break it down into say 8 regional conferences that makes sense so that Cal isn't playing Wisconsin and that's a conference game. That's dumb.
Yeah.
And you have these conferences. You have the Big Ten. We're called the Big Ten because they had a big conference, had 10 teams.
Yep.
Now called the Big 18 because they have 18 teams.
They had 14 last year, and they have 18 this year.
Right.
Yeah.
So it doesn't
Then-
make sense. They
Then
need
you
to
have the ACC who had what, like 12 last year, now have like 16.
SEC has 14 now.
Yeah,
Yeah, with
and
Texas and Oklahoma joining.
Yep.
yes, and so like,
Then-
and also one thing it doesn't get me is that the NCAA is also and the playoff committee is all very biased when it comes to non-power 4 players and teams.
It's Power 4. I thought it was Power 5.
What's Power 4 now? Now it's called Group of 5.
Group of 5. Oh
well,
man.
Power 4 because of the fact is the Pac-12 is non-existent. They're not.
Oh,
gonna
fair. Okay.
because they're not going to get 2 more teams to have because the NCAA already said if you don't have the minimum of 8 teams in their conference
Mhm.
by next year, Pac-12 is done.
And they're trying.
And they're trying. They got Boise State in there. They got 4 more teams in there, but they need 2 more.
yeah.
And
Back
to my thing is that they're so biased when it comes to non-power 4 teams
Right.
and players.
Well, and they're even
Is that-
biased outside the SEC.
They picked Travis Hunter to win the Blinkenkoff Trophy, which is the best wide receiver.
right?
He was 5th in pretty much in every goddamn category in that. But the guy that was a Triple Crown winner, first in receiving yards, first in receptions, and first in touchdowns, played at San Jose State. Wasn't even recognized. Wasn't even mentioned in that.
Doesn't surprise me.
Mm.
Again, right? It's
Doesn't at all.
If you want
No.
my
Sad.
honest opinion, yes, he was a 2-way player. Yes, he was a great 2-way player. It wasn't like he was the only great known 2-way player because they've always been 2-way players in college.
sure.
And my honest opinion, the only reason why he won those awards is because his media following and the way that he went to Colorado with Beyond Dion. So that is why he won the Heisman. He won all those freaking awards.
We're laughing because there's
Yeah, I see what's going
extracurricular activities going on outside the
kids.
So-
the kids are in there doing yoga off of YouTube.
Yeah, yep.
I'm not
Funny.
trying to trash Travis Hunter. It's not that. It's just that he's a two-way athlete. But if you want to go based on Heisman's based on stats,
Right.
Yep.
Well, Heisman's kind of like your MVP.
Yeah,
Right?
it's the
It
most
is.
valuable player.
Yep.
And you go look at Ashton Genty,
Oh, here we go. Okay.
who is led the NCAA in everything rushing, but also helped his team for the first time ever to get a first round bye as a non-power forward team to the playoffs,
Mm-hmm.
and he gets second.
Yeah.
That's to me is baffling. But all week I've been seeing his stats compared to other Heisman winning running back stats, and he lights them up every time, blows them out of the water.
Yep.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. You kind of need to put and see. There's another thing for AI, right?
Mhm.
You put him against those other guys. What did the defenses look like against those other players? But right, it's also generational, right? The game changes over time.
Nope.
So
They
you know,
compared him against Derrick Henry's numbers.
Okay, well, that's more
Brandon
recent.
Ingram's numbers.
Brendan Ingram. I don't know who that is.
Not Brandon.
It was Mark
Mark
Ingram.
Ingram's numbers.
Oh, okay.
Mark Ingram from
They
Alabama.
compared him against Rondane's numbers. They compared him against all the other running backs that the last 4 or 5 running backs that won the Heisman. They compared his numbers to theirs, and he blew them out of the water.
Yeah. Well,
But the thing is, he doesn't. He may be pissed that he didn't get it. He's going for the national title
And my thing
Hunter's
is,
not.
does he declare? He hasn't declared for the draft yet.
because he's focused on winning right now.
I know that, but does he declare for the draft this year, or does he say "fuck
Well,
you" to the NCAA and try to win that Heisman next year?
well,
They're
but
they're getting ready to play Penn State next round.
well, my
Yeah.
question for you there is does he attempt to take the portal to a team that's going to, number one, give him more money, and number two, provide him the ability to put himself in that position to win the Heisman?
The only reason I don't see him transferring out is if they make a deep run, like they get to the Final Four or lose the national
And
championship.
my thing is,
they get
is
that close. But like you're saying, if he goes to a team like, I'm just gonna throw it out there, Michigan, Ohio State, Texas, to try to get that
Right.
exposure.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe he wins the Heisman, but then they don't make the playoff. Maybe that's what he wants. I don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know where his kid's at. That
Yes,
right now.
but my thing
I know he's
is,
focused
is
on
that
Penn State
I think
because Boise
he-
State plays Penn State next round.
Right.
I might be reading this wrong, but I think if I remember correctly, he had like options or people tried to get him transfer out of Boise State last year because he had interest in other schools.
Yeah.
Because he ran for 1,800 yards last year. He was one of the best NCAA leaders last year in rushing.
Yeah.
But he decided to stay at Boise State, which shows his great character and everything. Because he had to stay at the school
Yeah.
where he started instead of branching out and trying to win a national title. He said
Right.
to stay where he got where he started.
Yep.
And
And it's loyalty, right? And that's honestly, I think that's how it would go a long way in the NFL.
Yeah,
And
Is actual
one
a team
thing-
player with loyalty.
One thing that drove me or why Ashton Genty is a great character in his humanity is that when the 4 finalists went and showed up for the sound when he first showed up in New York, 3 of them showed up in like designer outfits.
Right.
You know, the one player that showed up in his team gear,
Who's that?
Ashton Genty,
Yeah.
showed up in his Boise State gear.
yep.
I thought that was great.
That is pretty good. That's
I would-
actually not something you see much of anymore.
No.
They
They're,
don't-
they're all dressed up and looking nice, which is fine.
Right. Well, again,
Yeah,
right. There's your
that's their option.
right, but that goes back to that loyalty thing I was just talking about, right?
He's proud to be a Boise State.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
he's proud to
Good
be
for
Boise
him.
State.
Good for him.
Yeah.
And like I said, we don't know how this playoffs and stuff
Yeah,
is
we
going to
don't.
pan out. But like I said, right now his focus is trying to figure out how they're going to beat Penn State next
Oh, yeah.
round,
Yeah.
and that's
Penn
a neutral
State looks
site,
scary.
and that's a neutral site game.
Yeah.
We can kind of go over some. We're not going to go over some of these games, but like Texas wins today, they knocked out Clemson. They will play Arizona State next round.
Ooh.
Notre Dame played last night, knocked out Indiana. They'll play Georgia, which we've already discussed that today a couple times.
How you with Carson Beck not playing because they said he will not likely be playing because of his arm, his elbow.
Elbow injury.
Yes.
Gunnar Stockton is your quarterback for
Yes.
Georgia now.
Who?
The guy
He
who
might
came
have
in-
a concussion.
Who?
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 Oh God, they're not in.
'Cause
More,
the
they're
reason
not together no more.
So I actually read an article. So the reason why Carson Beck was in that last snap, they knocked Gunner out. Like
Yeah.
Gunner was like concussed. He didn't know where he was at.
Yeah.
Did you
So-
seen the hit? Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a photo like him lying around like.
And
Yeah.
I'm going to give credit where credit's due. Like great seasons for Indiana and SMU. Nobody
Oh, yeah.
expected it to be this high up.
Yeah.
Is what they were able
SMU
to-
been on a slow climb
Yeah.
towards the
22. They got the 5th most wins over the last like 2 or 3 years
Yep.
in college
Oh, yeah.
football.
Everyone was
They've
like,
been
"Oh, this
slowly
is
building
back."
up some credibility.
Yes.
Like this is like SMU back from like SMU of the 80s or 90s
Yeah.
being back.
Clemson, I mean, kudos to them. I mean, they got in on default. They took advantage of it. The closest margin of victory in this first round, 38-24, lost to Texas, which we hook them.
Actually, a close
We're kinda-
margin
we're kinda-
was
We're kind of rooting for it. I think we all want Ohio State to lose. It's
closest
not
margin
looking
was by 10
that way right
points.
now.
That was
Right.
Notre Dame over Indiana.
I personally think, like, I got asked this yesterday, who I thought could win. I hated to say it because of their defense, Georgia, but I also looked at Texas.
If you
Penn
can't
State.
score, your defense doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, I looked at Penn State and Notre Dame as sleepers. Like,
Mhm.
just because they're just going to quietly get in there. I mean, everybody thinks, and I hate to say this because we do want to see the little guy win like Boise State, but going up against Penn State, what I saw today, it's going to be really difficult.
I love Boise State. I've been watching them for a
Oh yeah.
decade plus.
They were like my
but
second favorite college.
they
team to watch.
always do really well, and then they just don't have enough to get over the top.
Yep.
Right. Now, number one, they didn't have they didn't have the clout based on their conference to get it through the old school system.
Right.
And now I just don't think they have the players and the stamina to push through a team like Texas or to push through a team like Penn State. I think realistically, you're going to have to. That's
Go
where you're going. You're going. Texas Penn State would probably be an amazing
National
championship game.
And one of the things is why they have a good confidence is they only lost to Oregon by 3.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
Oregon is a beatable team. I mean, I don't think any team on here is lights out.
Right.
Mhm.
They're
Right.
good, but they're not great.
That's the only loss they have on their season is the 3-point loss to Oregon.
And to me, we got. I'm going to bring it back to SMU and Bama. Bama got knocked out because Bama didn't show
See,
up against Oklahoma.
Oregon has a good
SMU
defense.
showed up against Clemson.
Yep.
I'm gonna elaborate one more time. Is they showed up, they came from behind, almost beat Clemson, and they also took out lost to a BYU team who, up until about 4 weeks ago, looked like a front runner to win the Big 12.
Yeah.
So, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
So Oregon has a pretty good defense and run defense.
Yep.
So and Asher and Genty ran for like 250 yards on that defense.
Penn State ran all over them last 2 weeks ago in the Big
Yeah.
Ten championship.
And it's like realistically, and I hate to put it this way, right? But
I
Penn
think
State, Notre Dame, Texas bothers me because I think their defense is.
But they ran the
exposed.
ball very well on Clemson.
I
today.
think realistically
They had 2 rushers over 100 yards.
right, but
Penn
I don't.
State, I think it's gonna make-
Texas defense is where I'm concerned, not the offense. The offense is great, but
Yeah.
their defense, right? Penn State, Oregon, and Notre Dame. I think and Georgia, right? I think those are your 4 best defenses in the playoffs right now.
Yep.
And Georgia, I'm sorry, but if you don't have a reasonable quarterback, you're not going to win. You can't do it. So I'm
Mhm.
taking Georgia out.
That's why I picked Notre Dame over Georgia.
Right.
Right.
Oregon, I think Oregon's got the team, but I don't think they have the experience. So I think Oregon's going to go out.
If the score holds up, they would play Ohio State
Right.
next round. And Ohio State still up 21-3. We're approaching halftime.
Oh,
Right. So realistically, Notre Dame, Penn State, Notre Dame, Texas,
Yeah.
or Penn State, Texas. That's where I think
so,
the
I
championship's
don't
going to
want to
go.
overlook Arizona State.
no,
I don't think Arizona State has the experience to
Yep.
do it.
no, I don't think
They're going to be tough.
They are going to be tough, but I don't think they've got again,
They're
right?
a
It's-
scrappy bunch.
yeah, but
Yes.
you need experience to
Oh,
get
yeah.
this far to do those
Oh,
things.
yeah.
One of the
I-
things I
no
love
one-
is we're talking about teams that we don't usually talk about winning a national title.
No,
yeah.
absolutely.
And
No
that's
one
amazing.
expected
Yeah.
the Sun Devils to be in the college.
But we're here.
Everyone
Yeah.
at
Boise
the
State,
beginning
we're
of the
here.
year, they expected them to finish bottom of the Big 12.
And
Who, Arizona State?
Yes.
yes,
Hmm.
they were
They
projected
expected
to
to be
finish last,
finished dead last.
and they were first.
and
got
they
got
won.
They said
the
not
Big
so
12.
fast.
Not so fast,
Fast
midget.
Yes, and they won and beat Iowa State, who was like projected like 4th or 5th.
Oh, they blew them out of the water.
Oh yeah, they blew them out of the water. Like they blew
Which-
everyone's expectations.
Yep.
And that's
And,
Whoa.
great. We
I'd like
want
s-
that.
I like
I
to have
would-
my expectations blown.
and
Love it.
so my thing is when Boise State plays Penn State's gonna expect a run with Ashton Genty. So my thing is they're gonna tighten up and try to box in Genty.
You're gonna make the
and-
quarterback beat him.
Yeah,
They're gonna
I don't think he can.
I don't know. I don't think so either. I think Penn State is a scary
scout
team.
defense. I think the
Yep.
only way they're gonna do it is basically game plan that if you're gonna box them and try to have the quarterback beat them.
And
Yeah.
right now we're just throwing out like this is what I love about this playoff system is it doesn't you don't have to go undefeated anymore.
Nope.
You don't have to
No.
you can still lose 2 games and get in.
Yep.
And
Or beat
and then
Clemson.
and all you
when-
got to do is just beat the guy in front of you. There's no
Mhm.
style points anymore.
Nope.
Just go out there and kick his ass.
Yep.
or beat
Wasn't-
Clemson and lose 3 games and win the conference title. And then
Right.
make it in.
And make
And
it
I'm
in,
sorry
yeah.
to throw shade, but if Miami didn't step on their dick, Clemson wouldn't be there.
Oh yeah.
Fair.
But like I said, Clemson took advantage of it,
Oh yeah.
won, and got in. They didn't. I mean, they lost, but they scored the most points of any loser in the playoff right now.
Right.
Yeah, they
Right.
did.
They're a scrappy bunch. I would expect them to be back up there again. We can overlook Clemson as much as we want, and you lose at the wrong time, and
I think Indiana's going to be your big sleeper. I think they're gonna be around for a minute.
Oh yeah.
They will.
They lacked the experience because no one them themselves didn't expect to be in the playoffs.
Right. But again, right, that's a team that you don't normally hear in any talk about the playoffs
Oh,
especially
yeah.
over the
In
last
football.
20 years.
in
And
football,
so
Same
they
thing with
right, in
Arizona
football.
State. Same
they
thing
have
with
the
Arizona
most
State.
losses in Division I football.
Oh yeah,
Indiana?
Indiana.
School.
Indiana's a basketball school for a
Right.
reason.
Yes.
yeah,
And
they're a
right-
basketball team because of what's his name?
Bob Knight.
Thank you.
Yes, they're a basketball school with a football program.
Basketball school with a football program. That's pretty good. I
But-
like that.
You know, like I said, these teams lose, and they should like, well, they're talking. Well, could they have been? Should they have been there? Great seasons for SMU, Indiana, Clemson, and maybe Tennessee. But
Yeah.
What's the score of that game?
it's 21-3. Have you not been listening?
No shit.
Usually.
Usually.
All
So
right.
we're gonna
Not
get
a
into.
I'm
picks.
deaf. I'm
picks,
not
yeah.
a great
Let's-
listener.
Let's
Sorry.
get into picks really quick. So the
Oh,
first game that
For all you
we're
ladies
pick-
out there, you now know.
we won't be picking. The
Hello,
playoff games.
ladies.
We're not going to be picking the playoff games because they don't go for another week.
Right.
And we have a couple more bowl games, but those won't be going for another week. So we have 5 bowl games that we picked this
Okay.
afternoon.
You
First
guys have
game-
Zach's picks, right?
Yep. I
Okay.
wrote them down.
He does. I don't.
So the first game is Northern Illinois versus Fresno State.
Northern Illinois, Fresno
Give me the
State.
Huskies.
We went Huskies.
I think-
I'm not going to write them down, but if
That's
you want
fine.
to pick,
I would go with Fresno State.
you were the only one who picked Fresno State because we went Northern Illinois.
I
Huskies.
like how the Huskies beat Notre Dame. They had a lot of fight.
Beat Notre Dame?
That's Notre Dame's only loss this year. Is Northern
Really?
Illinois.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
they
Week
beat
2.
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame's won 11 in a row.
Yeah, I just liked how the fact that they were able to beat such a big school like that and manage. So I'm going for the little guy.
All right. I must have missed that loss.
So second game is Oklahoma and Navy.
Ooh, God. Don't do that to me.
So I'm going because right now that school is a dumpster fire. They don't have the best coaching staff. Their freaking offense is a dumpster. I'm going with the midshipmen that have their shit together.
I'm gonna go midshipman, right? Mainly because of my my traditional past. I think that Oklahoma is not quite the dumpster fire you think they are. Now they're not a number 1 contender type
No.
team, but I don't quite think they're the dumpster fire that you're advertising them as personally.
Let's just say they're the reasons why Alabama.
right? They
wasn't in the
knocked
playoff.
Alabama out of the
Yes,
conference,
they
so I
did.
think they've still got a bunch of fight in them.
Oh,
They're not
yeah,
a
they do, but it's just
It was a tough
they
decision
have
for
a
me.
third
I had to
string
go
quarterback
Oklahoma.
playing
I had to go
Saturday.
Oklahoma,
You-
Yes,
that's
probably.
fine. You went with the numbers. I'm going with my heart, right?
and that's fair. Had this have been, if Navy would have beat Notre Dame
Okay.
and Oklahoma doesn't beat Bama or maybe stays with Bama, then I go Navy. But Navy didn't beat Notre Dame, and then they kind of, I wouldn't want to say fell because they beat Army last week,
Right.
which I picked Navy, and so did Zach. But I gotta go with Oklahoma, just be slightly over that. Third game, Syracuse against Washington State.
Syracuse, Washington
I-
State. Oh my.
So I like how they played against Miami. Like Miami overlooked them, and they came back and swung and knocked them on their ass. I'm going with the Orangemen.
I went with the Orangemen as well.
Syracuse.
I like how Kyle McCord is playing.
Oh,
And-
what would Zach's picks on those other two? Oh, Zach went with Navy, of
Zach
course.
went with Navy. He goes Washington State on this
Okay,
game.
so he went Washington State. Okay. No, who did he go with in the Northern Illinois game?
Northern Illinois.
Anyway, I'm gonna go. I haven't watched either of these two teams this year, so I don't even know. I'm just going off of just going off straight guess, but I don't know. Syracuse has always been traditionally a pretty good football team, so I think I'll go with the Orange.
Yep. And all three of us go Syracuse on here. Zach goes with Washington State.
They
Next-
just lost their starting quarterback, John
Yeah.
Mater, to Oklahoma.
So the fourth game is Iowa State versus the Miami Hurricanes.
Iowa State.
I think this is Miami's game that they're going to go for revenge. They're going to go trample whoever they're playing. I'm going with Miami.
I took Miami as well.
I don't know.
Zach took Iowa State.
I think Iowa State. I mean, Iowa State had a really good year,
Yes.
and I think they're actually a more solid team than Florida State, in my opinion.
You mean Miami?
Miami, sorry, yeah.
And
Florida
the fifth
State only
game-
won 2 games.
and the
Yep.
fifth game is BYU versus Colorado.
Give me Dion and the Buffaloes. I just like how Colorado turned it around this year. And
I have to take a potty break.
You got a what?
I got to take a potty break.
Dude, we're almost done.
I'm trying here. So
hold it together, woman.
I'm trying.
That's what he gets
So
for drinking 2 gigantic Cokes over
I
there.
got one still left over here. So
Halfway
Colorado,
through my power, you don't hear me saying, I gotta go potty.
Colorado is Zach and Jake. I took BYU.
Keep talking. Keep him. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
took BYU. No, BYU.
Tie it in a knot, bro.
I can't tie it in a knot. It's already starting to come out. So, all right. I'm going to readjust. There we go. That's better. Oh, shit. I'm leaking everywhere. I'm just kidding.
Oh, wow. All right, I'm going to go with
It's in my
Colorado,
shoe.
and that's out of respect for Dion. I think he's done a good
I
job.
took BYU
in
just
college, in
despised
Colorado.
Deion.
Oh, man, come on. I love Dion Sanders. Of
I do
course.
too. And
he
this
was-
is weird because this is a Big
Why? 'Cause
12
you
matchup.
looking at your future quarterback of the Cowboys, you're there.
So this is weird because this is the first time a bowl game has had two teams with the same conference.
Yeah,
Mhm.
really.
Like what, 50 years or something?
That's crazy.
I think so.
I'm
Cold take.
Cold take. All right, today's cold take. I don't know if I can answer it or not, but we'll see.
Okay.
I'm
gonna go really quick.
Yep. If
No,
so, if you could have Christmas anywhere, where would it be?
Oh, that's a good one. Oh crap. Okay.
All right, let's take 5, y'all. Go. Me and him will talk. Do you need to go?
Oh,
I mean, we're almost done,
I
but
can hold it.
All right.
All right, that's fine.
we're gonna talk. We'll talk a little bit of football while you're gone. We'll try and fill the space.
Yeah.
All right.
It was just me and
I
Mr.
know.
Google while Carl takes a potty break like he's 6. Watch the table. Camera's temperamental.
Yep. So this is a first for the podcast. Losing a member in the middle of it for a prostate check.
I mean, I left to go get a drink.
That's true. You did. So, but yeah, I think, like I said about Dion, I'm going to go back to Dion. I don't know why, but I've got a pretty deep respect for Dion based on where he came from and what he
Yes.
became as he got further in his NFL career, and then where he is now. Now he's also got a pretty solid beard going on right now, and that's
Oh, yeah.
pretty cool.
He looks, when you see him on the commercials and you see him, he looks 90.
He does look very old, but
yes.
but I think that his transformation over the years has just been a sight to behold. It's been very neat to watch. It's very
Yes.
interesting because his NFL career. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was thinking what I said. I was thinking, so when everyone's saying that he first got into coaching, especially he was coaching high school before he got into HBCU, when he got into Jackson State. His first year at Jackson State was similar to Colorado. Only got him winning 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
But his second year, he won 11 games. Now this year with Colorado, it's just I liked how he immediately transformed the culture and saying, I'm not just coaching football. I'm also raising young men to teach them to be men,
Right.
transferring boys to men.
Yep.
that's the
Oh,
name of the
boys to
game.
men.
And they were recently on the Max Singer.
Hey.
And they just won the show, by the way. And it's just, I like how the culture changed. Yeah, they just won it. They were the Buffaloes.
Yep.
All right.
Spoiler alerts for people that are.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And that's just like how he transformed the culture. And so they were also Eddie George, the former Pro Bowl running back of the Titans, was looking at to be a head coach of West Virginia because he has been a head coach of some HBCU thing. I think it's Tennessee State.
Tennessee State. Okay.
Making fun of me for taking a potty break.
Yes, sir. We are.
Yes,
Hey, you left. We make fun.
All right.
So, all right. So back to the cold take, y'all.
Yes, Tennessee State University.
Okay. So
Is this
where?
supposed to burn when you pee? That's the cold take.
Yeah. That's that sounds like you need a cotton swab up your
Yeah.
your
Well,
rectum.
Oh,
you
no,
need
no,
a-
no, no, no. Don't burn no more.
Looks like you need an STD culture check.
All right.
I know
So
I'm not going to be allowed
if-
to host anymore.
if you
but
could have Christmas anywhere, where would it be?
does it have to be just one place? Because I have multiple.
If you could have Christmas anywhere, where would it be?
New York City.
Why?
The culture, because of like it's just so Christmassy.
Okay.
Like obviously it's cold up there.
here.
It's cold here, yes. But New York just seems like a, I don't know, because the Rockefeller Center with the tree, presents, like Home Alone 2, Lost in New York City. A lot of those things from my, like we mentioned, adolescence, growing up, that would be my thing.
Okay.
Just New York City, though. I mean, I don't want to go anywhere else in New York. In New York, obviously, it'd be very expensive to stay in New York City.
Christmas isn't so bad. New Year's is a different animal.
I wouldn't do New Year's in.
Well, I mean, those depends would help. So when I lived up there, I thought about going, right? Miss Google and I thought about doing it. And we started inquiring about it. And they said that basically they open up the area you have to go to at noon. And you cannot leave the area after you're in, or you can't come back. There's no potty. There's no restrooms in there. There's no
Wouldn't work for
places to
me.
eat. You'd have to bring your own food. You have to bring. I mean, people wear Depends just to be there.
Yeah.
And they piss themselves while they're standing there just because they want to be there. Now, I have a friend who somehow snaked a room at the there's a Hampton Inn or a Hilton right on Times Square, and you can see the ball from their room. They have a little, I don't remember if they had a balcony or not, but they watch the ball drop from scene. The watching the ball come down, hearing all the people screaming and counting down. He said it was an unbelievable event. So but Christmas is awesome. Walking down Fifth Avenue at Macy's, looking at all the windows that they dress. Like you said, Rockefeller Center. They've got the ice skating rink that they build there.
Yep.
I mean, it is a really cool place.
I would take it for not just me, but the kids as well.
Yeah. Well, I would agree. That would be a really neat thing to see. I think you want to wait a few years, let them figure out their crime problem right now. But yes, it would be amazing.
Right. I think that's just a bucket list thing. I mean, if I don't get to it till I get older, and then the kids are
Like you're 90?
So, Jake, what's yours? Oh, wait, you said you had others. What are your others?
I had a tropical one living in Florida, but I always like to go like maybe a tropical holiday.
So,
Not necessarily like anywhere.
I was like
particular.
going
If
off
you
of
get a-
mine.
Cancun,
if you get a chance, look at a Key West Christmas.
Okay.
You get a chance to look that up.
Do I need to look at it now?
No,
Okay.
So I was thinking, I'm thinking Hawaii Christmas.
Hawaii Christmas. That's
I
a
like
good
that
one.
That's-
Yes,
that
because
deserves
I
a
was
footnote.
I was thinking growing up in Iowa, I'm like, one Christmas, I just want to get out of cold and just go to somewhere freaking nice, sunny, and warm. And why not just go on the beaches during Hawaii and just go to Christmas?
So, for me, I would like to have a mountain Christmas because I've never in my life had a white Christmas, and I'm not going to get one this year. It's going to be in the 40s here, and I'm going to. and it's just not going to happen. So,
I mean, I could buy you fake snow.
you could, just as long as it's not yellow, I'm fine.
Ooh.
But I would love to have a mountain Christmas.
I could buy you some white stuff and you can snort it
No,
afterwards.
no. Let's
Some
see.
Himalayan snow candy.
Right?
No,
Book of sugar.
Booger sugar.
booger shit. You guys are crazy. You guys are cray, as the kids would say. All right.
Himalayan snow candy. I'm trying to think of the things blind owl sound Deadpool 3.
Right.
All right. Just hang on a sec with me, guys. We're
Yep.
gonna do this. We've got a special guest call in. Well, I'm calling them.
How's it a call in if we're calling him?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I'm gonna have him answer the cold take. If he answers the phone.
Hi, you reached. Hi, you reached.
All right, never mind.
He's
All right.
texting.
He's texting, but he can't answer the phone. That's
Yeah.
probably why he can't answer the phone. Anyway, so that's the cold take for tonight.
Yep.
It's been a great show, y'all.
Yep.
It's been as the Ruthless program would say, Ruthless Variety program would say, it's been a banger of a show tonight.
Slobber Rock River match.
Yeah. So we really appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. Zach, thank you for tuning in because otherwise we were
Lonely.
nobody loves us. But anyway,
Not anymore.
yeah, I know.
Well, the potty break didn't help either.
Yeah, that's just
6-year-old.
interest. So hey, we really appreciate everybody. We appreciate you watching. It's been a good show tonight. A lot of good discussions on sports. Maybe some of our Polish friends can give us some views, if nothing else.
Hopefully. It's Polish.
But
Warsaw.
yeah,
Warsaw is going to help us out a little
but
bit.
we
I know in the coming weeks we're gonna probably talk about it next week. Is we have a date in January where we're not gonna have a podcast because I'm going to Green Bay for the Packers game. Zach will be going to Chicago, so we won't be on. I think January 6th. And then
Wow.
our
First
5th.
time I'm hearing about it, I think. One second.
That's why I'm telling you.
we'll see.
And then
I like how you're bringing us up dates that you hear dates you won't be on the podcast before.
because I got to tell the viewers,
You're right.
You
All
won't tell
one
me
of them.
beforehand.
all one of them.
So, but yeah, so we'll keep pushing through that.
And
Maybe
then-
Jake and I'll do our own podcast.
Well, there you go.
Might.
There you go. I know we got more college games to just discuss next week.
Yep.
We'll know the full bracket after tonight's game, which right now, last we looked, halftime, Ohio State's leading Tennessee 21-10.
And next week, Zach will be back.
Yes, he
You
will.
can see his shiny, happy
He'll be
face.
sitting right here. I'll be over there.
Yep.
So hopefully this wasn't a bad hosting show.
It's been fine. It's
Yep.
been a great. It's actually, I think we did.
Merry Christmas.
You did a good job tonight. Merry
I
Christmas, everyone. We appreciate y'all watching. Next time we see you, it'll be next year.
All right.
No, next
bye.
year.
Bye, y'all.